What's going on, Sword? What's going on, Joel? What's going on, Stark Wolf? Oh, snaps. We got Tempest in here. What's going on, guys? I don't know if you guys have been paying attention lately to the Waking Titan news, but you've seen the, I'm sure you've seen the images of the new ships online. Does anybody know, do you find like technology at these crashed freighters? I need to find warp reactor Tau, I think, for freighters. Son of a bitch. Joel, I am so excited for next that I can hardly contain myself. And that is not hyperbole. I am ridiculously excited for next. I don't know, for somebody who I've liked the game that came out, all these changes have been fantastic, right? So anything new that they do, I'm really excited to see, but just learning the details of what might be coming with next from Sean Murray himself, and you know, some of these images from Waking Titan and just the little tidbits that we get. It's exciting shit. Dude, I don't need units. I need tech. So Stark, you're all over Waking Titan. At first, yeah, everybody's been calling them multi-crew ships. At first I thought they were like speeders, like a new type of exocraft or maybe a submersible. But a new sort of freighter does make sense. Looking at the color pattern of them, to me they look really similar to like the pattern that you see on the Sentinel starships. So my first inclination, honestly, and I still sort of kind of think it, but my first inclination was that they were Sentinel freighters. So that maybe, you know, you would have to fight like Sentinel freighters, or you would have to use your freighter to take out a Sentinel freighter. Damn it. Alright, I'm over it. All I'm getting is units. I'm just wasting a lot of carbon here. Joel says, one thing I'm praying they fix is the ability to look at planet features from space. Yeah, I have a feeling there's going to have to be a lot of optimizations just to get multiplayer to work right. I mean, obviously, synchronizing players in the same time of day was even a challenge. With 1.3, you know, we might be able to see each other's player orbs, but we're not synchronized in the same time of day. So I can definitely, you know, see how they would have to make some major optimizations in order to make next work. You know, when you're visiting other players' bases, like that needs to run smoothly. Right now, that does not run smoothly. You know, and yeah, Sean Murray has stated many times that terrain generation is a big thing for them, and I would imagine that that also refers to terrain generation in space, improving, you know, what that feels like, what that looks like. I have a feeling they're going to open up the sky map, the sky box as well. Like the way that planets or star systems feel like levels. I think they're going to change that. I think things are going to feel more open and less like levels. Got nothing to really back that up. But. If you remember, in previous versions, the planet didn't even look like on the surface what it looked like in space. So I think they've done a much better job already at that, but it does need to continue to be improved. Starkwold says everyone went from 6 to 12 when Next was announced. Yeah, bro, I was one of them. Like 6 to midnight all day. As HiddenJewAgenda so eloquently put it on a live stream, he had to he rearranged the roof on his house or something like that. Yeah, he freaked out. Like, I know this is gonna sound sort of ridiculous, but I almost cried like whenever Sean Murray actually came out to talk, because I was so convinced he wouldn't do it. Like, I did not see a world where he would actually come out and speak about No Man's Sky Next. It just didn't seem plausible to me, with all the backlash and everything else, and how passionate some of these haters are. So whenever he actually came out to talk, I was like, I didn't know how to contain myself. I was freaking out. It was just so good to see him after all this time. 2 years of not seeing him anywhere. And then he's been all over social media, he's been tweeting a lot, Hello Games has been tweeting a lot. So, exciting shit. What's going on, Noah? Welcome back. Don't worry about it. Sword. I understand how iPhones can be unstable. Stark says, I'm thinking that it's more of a possibility, like legit space police fleet. Yeah, yeah. It's to me, it would make a lot of sense because we already have freighters, and I stated this on Twitter. Unfortunately, I didn't say it during the stream. Um, but to me, it would make more sense if we got like new sort of sentinel freighters that would be able to attack your freighter, or you and your friends could dogfight together, partner up, and shoot them down. Well, I mean, we'll see. Ultimately, just any sort of new vehicle in the game is obviously awesome. Where's my home planet? There we go. Yeah, I mean, any sort of vehicle they do, any new ship, any new exocraft, it's all awesome. Alright, hopefully everything's back to working okay and I can actually see someone's base. Alright, sorry guys, I'll catch up on the chat here in a second. I just need to pull up a portal address. Alright. Land Before Time. Sparrow. Dragonfly. Portuguese Man of War. Fighter. Triforce. Hot Air Balloon. Teepee. One of those weird totem things from Crash Bandicoot. Death Star. Dragonfly. Alright. Geez, Panda, heaps going on in your system. Yeah, there's a lot of things tagged there. I want Flora to go back to the way that it was. Yeah, Ines McKendrick at one of the GDC conferences said that when you change something in the game, when you make a change to an input, the changes on the output are exponential, and it's hard to, because you're dealing with a procedural system. It's hard to calculate. So what ends up happening, obviously, is you make a minor change, and then that change just kind of goes crazy on the output side, and it changes a lot of other things. So I think that after Pathfinder, when they changed stuff in 1.3, I think that they changed the output affected a lot of the lush planets. Now, from time to time, I've come across, this is a really badass looking planet. From time to time, I've come across some really cool looking lush planets, but just not like it has been in previous versions, but I'm sure they'll fix that. Noah says, if they did open the skybox, that would give us the ability to fly to different solar systems, even if it took 40 hours. I don't think it would ever take that long, but what's really cool is, like, if you look at the box, for example, the description, when you go to like GameStop or Amazon or something, it talks about trade routes. You know, freighters along trade routes. It talks about every point of light is its own star, and everybody. When you look at the way that it's written, it almost lends itself to the fact that they're opening up the skybox. And I know that that's been a big complaint that Hello Games has heard over the last year and a half, because they specifically said, and this isn't to like drum up controversy or anything, but they specifically said that it would not be a skybox, it would be an open universe, that there would not be loading screens, and both of those things are there. So I'm sure that they're working really hard to change that. I have a feeling that our warp animation is going to be different, because I think it's kind of cheesy, and I think they're opening up the skybox. Again, I don't have anything to I don't have any information to prove that. That's just sort of the suspicion I have. Monkspeed says, hello all, I've been sent here by Sword, new No Man's Sky player since yesterday morning. Well, holy shit. Welcome, Monkspeed. That is awesome. So, we have a great community here with No Man's Sky, and I hope that you check it out. So, I hope you're enjoying the game, first and foremost. There we go. I was gonna say, please don't fail me now. Oh shit. This is a lovely planet. I love these sort of really alien, weird, dead planet. Here we go. Now this particular planet, guys, is by the TOG. It's a sulfurine gas harvester farm. We're going to be putting this in the Galactic Consortium databank. I've just been busy here lately with a few things, and just have not had a chance to like really sit down and do that. But I'm going to be importing these portal locations and processes into the Galactic Consortium databank. The TOG, they do incredible work, and one of the things that they were able to do, which is really going to help a lot of you guys out, especially Monkspeed, who are, don't have a lot of money in the game, or who are new to the game and want to get all the cool shit before No Man's Sky next drops. So, with the help of the Galactic Consortium, Swords Farms, Stark Wolf in the chat, who's got a little farm, Ryder S with Garden of Eden, we've got a lot of great farms in there, to make money. Well, if you've got enough blueprints, you can make stuff like stasis devices and fusion igniters and things like that, but you need gases to build a lot of those components. So what the TOG have been able to do is, within the base limit, they've been able to glitch gas harvesters and in there. Now this is my first time going, I haven't been yet, but you can mine a tremendous amount of gas this way and make a lot of money in record time, very, very fast. And so for you guys that are just getting started or don't have freighters yet, you might want to get on top of this system here and make as much money as you can. Because here's the deal, guys. With every update that's happened, freighters specifically have become more and more expensive, and so have ships, especially when they add new classes and things like that. So the reason I bring that up is because if you don't have a freighter now, it's very possible and very likely that they're going to get drastically more expensive with the next update. So, um, at the risk of being redundant, because I've said this on other streams, my first freighter cost me 7 million units. 7 million. Okay? My second freighter in Pathfinder cost me 18 million units. My new freighter that I have cost 280 something million units, and that was after trade-in. Okay? So the prices have really jumped up on these things, and they're getting more and more expensive because they're introducing new ways of making money, of trading in No Man's Sky. So they're balancing the difficulty by making things more expensive to buy, you know. And if you think about it, realistically, a freighter should cost, 200 and something million, right? Not 7. You can buy a private jet, a small private jet for $7 million, you know. So they're balancing the prices and stuff with the difficulty. So get your freighters now. And if we're gonna have multiplayer, if we're gonna be able to dogfight and like survive with friends and shit, like you don't want to be that guy that doesn't have the freighter. Like get the freighter, you know. Like I've got a freighter. I've got 6 ships, so I've got 3 exotics, 2 fighters, 1 hauler, 48 slot hauler, and a freighter, you know. And so I'm ready. I'm ready for next. Especially once I start getting my money up. Like I'm trying to hit 1 billion units. I keep buying shit though, blowing my money. But get ready for next, dude. Get that money up. Buy a freighter. Plus, Sean Murray said himself, he said this update is more along the lines of Star Trek Away Team, Battlestar Galactica sort of thing. Okay? So we're talking space battles, possibly freighter battles. Get one. Sean Sky says, nice monk speed. Starkwolf says, newbie, welcome. Hell yeah, dude. Monk speed, I'm hoping you've probably, if not, please consider joining the Galactic Consortium as a new player. It's just a great resource for you. We also have some information in there from the TOG as well on how to get your portal glyphs very quickly. So just something to look at. You're going to want those portal glyphs. That's going to help you make money quickly. So yeah. Funny M's lurking as usual. What's going on, dude? We got Sanhyron Pillay in the chat. What's going on? Welcome back. Sanhyron says, how's it going, Panda? It's going well. Thank you for asking. Sword says, going to the TOG farm. That's what's up. Are you talking about me? Sword says, Monkspeed just started streaming No Man's Sky. Guys, tap his name in the chat, open his channel, and sub, please. Yeah, dude. Anything that you guys can do to support the No Man's Sky community, like, do it. Like, new streamers, whatever the case is. Look, guys, there's a lot of negative bullshit out there about No Man's Sky, and we live in a world where people can't draw their own conclusions and think for themselves. That's not a crack on people, but there's a lot of people who are going to miss out on an opportunity to enjoy a really great game. Because, of course, not everybody's going to like No Man's Sky, but there's that certain type of person that they may not get this game at first, they may not understand what's really going on, and then they play it and they fall in love with it. I've heard so many stories about how people were expecting to not like the game, and then there's just something about it, something about the exploration of it and the freedom of it and the openness of it. And there's a lot of people who are going to miss that opportunity because they're listening to a lot of the naysayers out there and the negative stuff. So the more that you guys can support each other, the more that you guys can, when people start streaming, when they're playing for the first time, the quicker that you can get them in our community so that they can see that there's a fun community out there that's very positive, that enjoys the game, that there's cooperation, that people work together. That just helps out the whole community, before negative people kind of get in there and spoil it for them. So whenever you guys see somebody streaming for the first time, a new streamer, Get in there, sub the channel, show support, help them out. Here we go, guys. Look at these gas harvesters. Holy Christ. If HiddenJewAgenda was here right now, he literally would just blow the zipper right off his pants. Ooh. I'm gonna warm up for a second in here. Monkspeed says maybe when next comes out we can all meet up somewhere. Yeah, I mean we could all meet up somewhere now, really. By the sounds of it, not trying to make anybody sad, but right now 16 people can meet because you're just orbs. But on the box for No Man's Sky next, it says that the multiplayer's, up to 4 players. So maybe with the player models and the new animations and things like that, the multiplayer can't support 16 people. So right now 16 people can meet. Maybe after next only 4, or it could surprise us and it could be a lot more than that, But yeah, we should all do a meet. The Galactic Consortium should just have like its own fucking conference, like just like all hang out and talk about billionaire status. Monkspeed says, will it be cross-platform? Probably not, dude. I mean, between Xbox and PC, there's probably going to be cross-play, obviously, because they're both Microsoft. But PlayStation seems to be really averse to cross-platform. I don't know why, but it's an advantage that Microsoft has that PlayStation isn't properly utilizing. So they should support cross-platform. I'm not sure they will. Hold on. Monkspeed says, Sword has really been helping me out. I've got a base already, otherwise I'd still be running around shooting plants. Hell yeah, dude. Sword is awesome, man. He's a great member of our No Man's Sky community. And he puts a lot of work and time into like building his farms and like helping players succeed in the game. So big shout out to Sword there. Starkwolf says, Sword is great for that. He's like a No Man's Sky Sherpa. Hell yeah. Sword says, for your information, Panda billionaires don't walk around, dude. Stop being cheap and build a nomad, man. I don't think I have enough marrow bulb, dude. And marrow bulb is a piece of shit to get. Oh, I gotta charge him first. Son of a bitch.
Technology recharge.
Still, even if I have to charge them, that's still pretty goddamn awesome that they would just build that, because I can like load these up and then come back later, and I've got a shit ton of. I'm gonna need to build a nomad here. There's no doubt about it. My Exocraft game. I need to step it up. Good lord. Whew. They built that on the roof? Oh yeah. Alright, let's charge this bad boy up. Sword, how long does it take for one of these things to fully charge up? Oh man, I need to buy like a crap ton of carbon or something. I wish there was a trade terminal in here, like how Sword puts trade terminals in his farms. I need to be able to buy some shit. It's hot out there, y'all. Goddamn. Goddamn, goddamn. No, I've lost the chat. Mickey says the sounds in the game are loud. I cannot hear what you're saying. I've not found a good way to handle that on PlayStation, bro. On PC it might be a little bit different, but like animal screaming and freighter warpins are always loud as fuck. I've tried turning my game volume down. I don't know what else to do. Well, you know what? I've actually only changed my mix. I can actually just turn it down from here, I think. Bring it down. Now, hopefully doing that doesn't affect chat volume here. Hope you brought like 3,000 plutonium. Yeah, I just realized I fucking need that. After an hour, they're ready. Okay, awesome. Noah says, I'm afraid there's going to be a reset and then we'll have to start from scratch. Yeah, probably. That's been the case with pretty much every update. So it helps also to have some sort of backup system on your freighter, right? Like have planet bases, be able to travel to all these different farms and like get resources or whatever. But when the reset happens, we don't know how that's going to affect other players' shit, right? So the consortium might have to do some work, sort of reconfiguring its farms and things like that, and all that kind of stuff. So it doesn't hurt to have a little bit of a system on your freighter for growing something or growing some sort of resource that you need, just in case. But yeah, I would say expect a reset. It'd be cool if they could do it without one, but we're probably getting one. So this is what it says on GameStop for Amazon Xbox release description. You can charge them in return after an hour it's there. I'm afraid that it's going to be a reset that will start from scratch. I've already read that. No, with no loading screens, whether you're flying from space or planet surface, even warping between solar systems. Yeah, dude, there's something that really fucking bugs me about the warp screen. Me and Sword have talked about it. Like, it doesn't seem to bother him a lot, but it bothers the ever-living shit out of me. Like I think it's just because we were specifically told that there wouldn't be load screens, and it's a load screen. The skybox is closed, so the star systems feel like a level. Like, that's not a major criticism of the game. Like, that's just me being honest about how I feel about that. But I'd prefer that not to happen. And I know that it's not difficult. I'm not a computer programmer. I just know that it's not difficult. Because if you look at how Elite Dangerous handles this, with Elite Dangerous, when you go to your map and you pick a coordinate, okay, in the star system, you pick a coordinate, it'll that coordinate, will become a point that you have to then move your ship towards and aim at it, and then you go into frame shift. And when you do that, you know that it's a load screen, but it doesn't break the immersion for you, right? It doesn't take you out of it. You see nebulas warping past you and different things like that. It's one continuous animation that doesn't break you away from the immersion of what's happening. And I need to see that from this game, period. If I'm being honest, it just bothers me. It might not bother a lot of people. It bothers me because I know they can do it. I know they can do better. So
Technology recharging.
that's my expectation for them. I don't mind. I know the game is loading. You know, it's not that I have this weird expectation that the game shouldn't load. Like, of course, right? Especially for a game with like procedural tech like this, like for example, as you approach things, they're popping in and loading in front of you. Like those, that's just the sacrifices that are made for procedural gen, right? So I understand that things have to load, but I just think that, like I said, they can do a much better job. It can break the immersion a lot less. Elite Dangerous does a really good job at it, and I'd like to see that in this game.
Free stops in suit inventory. Technology recharging. Technology recharging.
I'll fill these up another day. I'm gonna probably go buy a trade terminal and just buy a shitload of plutonium. But I just kind of wanted to take a first look at what that looks like there, and because this is the first one I've seen. Because whenever I've tried to build a gas harvester before, for those that don't know, you cannot build them inside your base limit. Uh, they can only be built outside of your base limit, and you can only build 3 per planet. And so for like my friend HiddenJewAgenda, for example, he's, you know, the other part of this channel. Whenever he's making making fusion igniters and having to get gases, he's got to go to like 3 different planets and essentially harvest 3 different harvesters from 3 different planets, and so like 9 times, and then he's got to recharge them all and then go back and do it all over again and over and over and over every hour. So whoever discovered that you can glitch that in is a genius, because once you get done loading all those, the sheer amount of gas that you'll be able to harvest out of each one of those is going to be tremendous. And then you compile that with like circuit boards and the shit that you need to make like fusion igniters, which sell for 18 million units a pop, how many of those you can make. And you know, Sword, if you haven't already mentioned it, what is the TOG estimated how quick you can hit 1 billion units? Like 5 hours, right? Like, to hit 1 billion, I mean, that's insane. And that's like 5 hours total time. That's like harvesting the gas harvesters, getting the circuit boards, like crafting everything. Like 5 hours, you're a billionaire. You know, a couple of days, unless like you're playing for a whole lot at one time. Grab some zinc and go murder plants. Hell yeah. Oh shit. Totally fucked up the melee jump thing. There we go. Thank you, Hello Games, for not patching that out, by the way. that has helped a great many of us get around quickly. Dude, I just crafted 300 voltaic cells this weekend. Sword, that's because you're a goddamn beast, you son of a bitch. San Iron Palais says, I saved a lot of units for an S-Class freighter, now I'm cruising in Eisen time. With S-Classes all around everything I own. That's as much as I can flex in a game. Hell yeah, dude. I need to get more S-Class shit. I need an S-Class freighter, I need S-Class haulers, S-Class fighters, I just need S-Class everything. I got an S-Class multi-tool. There was some glitch, man, like whenever Pathfinder updated, the multi-tool that I had just became an S-Class. I think it was Pathfinder. It might have been Atlas Rises. I don't remember, it doesn't matter. But I had a multi-tool that was just a regular multi-tool. Woke up one morning, turned on the game, update had happened. My multi-tool all of a sudden was a 24 slot S-Class. And I went 6 to midnight and popped the roof off my house. I don't think only have 4 players will be an issue. You know, even if it was only 4, dude, just being able to see each other, I think makes like a big difference, right? Like just being able to see each other. Like we can have 16 now as like glowing orbs, but like 4 as like solid people that have like jetpacks and like a spacesuit running around shooting shit. Like I wouldn't mind sacrificing, you know, the other to you know, not being able to have 16 in order to see that. But, you know, maybe they won't have to make that sacrifice. Maybe it will be 16 or more. You know, time will tell. I'm super pumped about this update, though. But kind of going back to, like, yeah, Remus, you certainly can. Kind of going back to, like, the Waking Titan stuff. Like, I really do think that those are Sentinel freighters. I know that a lot of people think they're multi-crew ships. I hope that they're multi-crew ships because that'd be dope. That'd be cool as shit. But I think it's just a new type of Sentinel freighter. Or it's just a Sentinel freighter because we don't have a current type of Sentinel freighter as far as I know. Move, deer. The Consortium will have the first farms back up, I guarantee it. There we go. And for those that don't know, Sword, all his farms are the highest yield farms possible. So like, every farm makes like 20-something million units with its base craftable product. So his circuit board farm, if you're only crafting circuit boards, is going to make you 23 million units. Every time. You know what I'm saying? But now if you combine, let's say, Sword's farms with TOG's Harvester co-op, okay? Now you're rolling in some fucking cash. Yeah, you can. You got to do it through Remus. You got to do it through the community. So you've got to go on the community page and join that way. And let me know if turning down the in-game audio helped out with the mic sound. So I know somebody mentioned that earlier. I want to make sure that that's okay. Hit up high economy space stations. They should have at least 4,000 plutonium each. Yep. My where my home planet is, that system is considered an opulent system. So maybe they'll have a lot of plutonium. I can go in there and buy a shitload. Sword says that would be Normie 1701, Tom Coolcam, Glitch Traveler that built these farms. Hell yeah! Shout out to those guys. Like, real talk, it's just crazy that they've managed to build that. I don't think anybody's done that yet, right? That like knew that you could glitch the gas harvesters. I haven't heard of it before TOG did it. Those guys are on a different level, man. I think I'm gonna take Sword's advice, and if I have enough, I'm gonna slap down a exocraft here. I do not have enough. Sword says, "Are you reading the chat on your phone? You need to refresh. You're lagging on it, I think." No, it's just hard to read it. So it's hard to play and read the chat at the same time, and I hate when it's like scrolling up on the screen, because PlayStation gives you a very limited amount that you can see. So if the messages are too long, I don't see it all, and it blocks my gameplay, how much of the game I can see, and I just don't like that. So no, I know I'm definitely behind a bit. That's why I like whenever, I much prefer whenever Hidden Jew Agenda can be on with me at the same time, because he'll kind of help keep the chat caught up, because we'll both work the chat, and that way we stay caught up on everything. What's up, Wizard? Welcome back, dude. Funny Imp says, people have tried. I believe Normie just kept trying things and figured something out. Well, Normie's a goddamn genius. Because holy crap. Like some of the stuff that's been figured out, man, like I don't even think that like Hello Games really understood, like, you know what I'm saying? Like what you could do. You know what I mean? They probably watch like some of these streams from time to time, and they're like, "Oh shit! Like I didn't know you could build that." Sword says, "For your information, my internet is being set up today, so everyone is invited to the stream tonight." That's what's up, dude. Hell yeah. I definitely will try to join tonight. I know I say that every time, and I don't, but I'll make more of an effort this time to try to be on that. What's going on? Top of the Galaxy TV says, "Thanks, Panda, for calling me a genius." Well, you are. So between the TOG mega farms, these gas harvesters, like the work that you guys do for us out there, it's crazy. I couldn't do it. One, I don't have the patience for it, and two, I don't have that kind of creativity. Like some of these builds, like one of my favorite TOG farm locations is the cactus flesh, because they just basically made a giant tree out of it. Just the stuff they do is it's just too cool, man. All right, let me start throwing some stuff in my high capacity slots here. I'm gonna buy the plutonium at my freighter, and then go back to the space station and see if I can still buy it there. Because I don't think they're like connected, right? So like just because I drain this one doesn't mean I've drained the other one. At least I don't think so. Sword says, "But yes, I'll be streaming tonight." I'm looking forward to it. At the very least, like if I can't get on with you, like, and chat with you, which I'd love to do, I'll be watching. So, TOG has a channel. Be right back. Got a sub. Yeah, guys, go do that. Go sub the TOG channel there. Absolutely. Sub everybody, man. If it's No Man's Sky, sub it. Like, sometimes I'll just go through YouTube, and if I see people playing No Man's Sky and they have a positive attitude about it, I'll just sub it. I don't care if it's somebody we know, somebody we don't know, somebody who's got 5 subscribers. Doesn't matter. If they're streaming the game and they're positive about it, they get a sub from me. Which galaxy are you in? I'm in the Euclid galaxy. To be honest, I've not found a good. God damn it! I know you guys couldn't hear me because of the fucking freighters. To be honest, I've not found a good reason to leave the Euclid galaxy. So everybody seems to be in Euclid Wizard, and that's mainly why I haven't left, because there's like a much larger group of people here to like meet up with and joint explore and that kind of stuff than there is in any other galaxy. So. They shouldn't be connected. I forgot that I was going to the space station. God damn it. There's a squid ship in my system, guys. There's a green squid exotic, and I was very close to getting my hands on it, but some stuff happened with a save, and I lost it. And then I've not seen it since, because it occurs very rarely. But that's the only type of ship I have yet to own, is a squid ship. I want new cockpits. Totally random to blurt that out, but it's true. I want different cockpits. I'm tired of the cockpits we have. The coolest cockpits in the game are shuttle cockpits and fighter cockpits. Too much to do in real life, actually. Sword says my portal glitched last night. It was showing like I had charged it, but had the harvester slots to interact with. I reloaded and tried a new portal, still glitched. Anyone had that happen? I've never seen that happen. Funny Imp says my little one vid channel got a new sub today. Well, there you go. For those that don't know, okay, Funny Imps has a YouTube channel, and I think he has a farm in permadeath, and I don't have any save game in permadeath, so whenever I do the Feature Farm Friday videos, I can't do anything that's outside of Euclid, normal mode, PS4. I can do creative mode, and that's about it. So Funny Imps made a tour of a farm that he made, and it was a really good tour. So last week I didn't post a Feature Farm Friday video of mine. I posted one in the Galactic Sortium that Funny Imps did, and it's a really cool farm. And you guys should go check that video out. And while you're there, make sure you sub his channel, because he's gonna be putting out more content, I assume. But I liked his videos so much that rather than, because he gave me permission to like use excerpts from it to like help make my video, so I was gonna essentially download the part of his video and use his footage to put my video together. And I was watching it, and I was like, I love how he's narrating and explaining everything and talking about stuff, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna fucking leave this alone and just let him do it. So last week's Future Farm Friday was a Galactic Consortium member submission, not Hidden Panda Show. That should be enough to like load up all those gas harvesters, right? Wizard says I gotta go, guys. That's me meeting up in that's me. I gotta help a guy that's meeting me up in G5. LOL. May start a hub there. Oh, okay. That's what's up, dude. He says, catch you later. Remember to have fun, guys. Monkspeed says, funny, you just got another sub. There we go. There we go, Monkspeed. So I'm talking about, baby. Sword says, holler, baby. Funny Imps, cool, Monkspeed. I'll hit you up as well. I'm doing more vids soon. Yeah, you better. Yep, I'll have farms on there that'll be accessible for survival and permadeath players. Nice, because the only farms that we have in the consortium right now, bro, are PC permadeath. We have zero of any other. So it's all PC permadeath, and all of those were actually submitted by Alexisek, who built them for the Amino Hub, I believe. But he very nicely shared those with the Galactic Consortium. So, but he's got PC permadeath in our data bank. So we'd love some PS4 permadeath farms. So it looks like Funny Imps is working on that, which is pretty damn cool. So. You know what I need to do? I need to go to Sword's farm. I've not been able to go in a long time, and I want to check it out because the servers have been acting funny. I need to pay his farm a visit for my own nefarious purposes. Because I need money pretty damn bad. So are there any features that you guys have thought about that might be in next that haven't really been discussed by Cobra or anybody else that, you know, like L plays or MZK? Like, because you know, Sean did say that there would be some surprises, things that we wouldn't expect. What do you guys think that means? You know, what could we be seeing with this update? Because obviously it's going to be more than just multiplayer, right? I made the prediction a long time ago that the update was going to be like 90% multiplayer, and I retract that statement because multiplayer is going to be a big component of it. But with multiplayer is going to come a lot of different features that help multiplayer but aren't multiplayer exclusive. So like, I also think terrain and variation is going to be a big part of it. How could it not be? So I sort of see that being a thing as well. Damn it, I've got nothing with warp cells in it. Like, do you guys think we'll be able to customize our avatars? Or will they sort of be procedural gen? Like, you know, you just kind of randomizes it for you? Do you think they're going to be adding ship customizations? Like what are your thoughts? Like, I feel like customization period is going to be a focus also. Like being able to customize your ship, being able to customize your player. Like, that'd be sick. Monkspeed says, nice, I'll keep an eye on your channel for the new vids. Thanks for the sub. I subbed the Wizard as well. Awesome, guys. Sub to everybody. I'm dead serious. Like I said, dude, there's a lot of haters out there, bro. But like we all need to be supporting each other's channels. Like, just period. That should be enough to get to where I'm going. I don't know if you guys happen to catch it, but HiddenJewAgenda did a live stream of his band on this channel playing a show. Wasn't a particularly big show or at a good venue. There's lots of other bigger shows that they do. They open for a lot of really famous bands and stuff like that. But he was real excited to sort of share that experience with you guys, and anybody that watched that and liked it and commented. I know Johnny B was there, Boondock was there, Cobra was there. So just shout out to you guys that watched that and it might not be your kind of music, but he just kind of wanted to share a little insight into his life with you guys, because on top of being a father and in a committed relationship with a great woman, he's a full-time employee. Does this channel and plays in a band, which is about to put out an album. They've got a new single that they're working on. Their music's available. They're called Head Trauma. Their music's available on iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, whatever the streaming service is that's there. But he also plays in a band full time with his father as well. So he's in two different bands, man. The guy's super busy, and he somehow makes time to come on here and to stream and talk No Man's Sky and make content and all kinds of stuff. So the fuck am I doing? Seriously. Oh no, I'm in the system. I totally lost track. Dude, I'm losing my mind. Funny M says that as of now, the Consortium Hub has an LG circuit board and liquid explosive farm for PS4 survival permadeath. That is what's up, dude. Yes. And thanks for stating survival permadeath, because a lot of people don't know. I didn't know at first. Please let the fucking farm be here. I didn't know at first that PC and permadeath could see each other's shit. I mean, permadeath and survivor were basically the same thing. So whether you're playing permadeath or survivor, the same locations can be accessed. Dude, it's still broken, dude. I still cannot get to sword shit. What is up with that? God, that pisses me off.
Product constructed. Product constructed.
Fuck's sake. Funny M says more locations saved in the teleport list than space stations. That would be a good feature. Yeah, because right now, you can only have 4 in there, right? You can only save 4 teleporter locations at a time. Like, that was a bad idea. You know what I mean? Like, holy shit. Like, we should have always been able to have more than that. But to their credit, the game was originally intended to feel lonely. That's why during his interview with Xbox, Shaw Murray said himself, he said, I like that about that part of the game, the sci-fi feeling of being alone, of surviving, in this giant universe, and people being out there, but being potentially so far away. It does create a particular feeling, and I agree with it 100%. But that being said, to their credit, they've been doing a jam up job of making it easier to get around, if that makes any sense. So now that we've been playing the game for more than a year and a half, I don't know if you guys remember what it was like getting to the Galactic Hub. If any of you guys went when that first became a thing, but Jesus Christ, man, I did it the old school way where I had to warp, and it took a long time to get there. And when I finally got there, it was the day before Atlas Rises dropped, so I only got to see the original Galactic Hub for a couple hours one day before the update dropped, and Atlas Rises changed everything. So now we can have portals and terminus locations and all these different things to be able to get back to places. So I like that they're doing that. I like that they're making that easy to do. Let's try liquid glass, dude. One of these farms has to pop up, right? Saving portal addresses so we don't have to type them in each time. Yep, I've definitely thought about that. What about just being able to backspace funny imps when you're typing in a portal address? Like, have you ever, because you're having to use the mouse thing, so have you ever accidentally clicked on the wrong symbol, and then now you've had to back out of the entire thing, right? Just to enter a portal address in all over again because you missed one symbol, you know. I think being able to backspace while you're typing a portal address might be a good thing. It's such a simple thing too that like it's almost like why didn't they do that in the first place? Kind of like how for the first year and a half you had the game, when you would land on a planet, you would automatically eject out of your ship. It would just throw you out. You had no choice. Like why did that ever happen? But like now when you land on a planet, you can sit there, kind of survey, do some inventory management, like go through your shit, and then you can go. Finally, thank God, one of them works. And then you could go. So, little tweaks like that do make a big difference in terms of how the game like feels and functions. Go in your freighter and save and reload. Oh, is that how you have to get it to come up? Man, I wish I would have seen that before. Well, liquid, all your farms make the same money, so this will work too, I guess. Once you reload the save, see if my beacon is showing up on the first planet. Or double click a symbol. Yeah, something. Just make it easier to type in portal codes. Reiner Don, what's going on, man? Says hoping for an inventory overhaul so I can organize all my inventories in one menu. Yeah, I've played a lot of different games, right? Like that have different ways of managing inventory. And I like that this game has sort of taken the Destiny look and approach, because this game is designed to be very approachable for a lot of different people. Okay? And I don't know that for a fact, but I get that feeling. And what gives me that feeling is that a large majority of the people that play the game are like between the age of 35 and 50. Okay? And so everything has been made easy for people to pick up and very easily learn to play. Everything is really arcadey and simple. I like that the inventory management looks the way that it looks. Everything is big, bubbly, bright. There's different windows, kind of helps kind of set things apart. What I don't want to see is I don't want to see inventory management start looking like Monster Hunter World or something like that, or games where you have just it's almost like spreadsheets. You know what I mean? Just rows and tabs, and I'm not doing a good job at explaining what I mean, but hopefully you guys get it. But it needs to be different than what we typically see. Or it needs to look similar and function similar to what we have, but they just need to maybe tighten it up a bit. Something, You know what? I'm gonna I need to drop another item, which is annoying. I'm gonna drop this. Drop that. Okay. but I don't like games that have like really crazy, convoluted, difficult like inventory management. Um, I'm not a very technical gamer. Like if I play a first person shooter, like I am complete shit. Like I don't have the reflexes, the response, I don't have the memory, you know? So I like how easy and casual this game feels. I need it to continue to feel that way. Funny Imp says, or Funny Imp seems to agree with you on that. Now, when you say inventory overhaul, I don't presume to know what you mean exactly by that. But all I'm saying is that whatever they're doing to make it easy to manage inventory right now, I don't want them to lose that in exchange for changing the inventory system to something else. I don't want it to be any more technical than it already is. For me, it's perfect. It's got like a Destiny feel to it. They've already done, in my opinion, they've already done a lot of like quality of life stuff with the inventory control, like how you can craft a lot of a particular item at once. I like that they did that, and how you transfer things back and forward. I mean, they made the current system we have even easier and more intuitive. So stuff like that, yeah. Let's see those kind of tweaks. Rinder9 says, I always hope that they use the same inventory layout but give you a craftable console you can place in your base freighter and access all inventories. Yeah, that'd be cool. What's up, Semtex UK? Says, oh my god, it's only the Hidden Panda show. What's going on, man? I think you're the guy from Cobra TV that sounds an awful lot like Sean Murray. Do I have that correct? Is that you? If so, thank you for playing along that night that we were both on, because that was cool as hell. I think that's the one that Cobra said was like one of his favorite subcasts ever. But yeah, there was a conspiracy theory that this guy who went by the name Semtex, which I think is the guy in the chat, was Sean Murray. And I kind of helped to promote that as well. It sounded a lot like the guy. Funny Imp says, basically be able to access all your inventories right where you are now. That would be cool. Because yeah, I don't like, they kind of made the whole thing with, because remember in your freighter you had to go talk to the freighter captain to access your inventory, but now you just have to be in the freighter. But you can transfer stuff to the freighter from anywhere. It's like, yeah, I just want to be able to just access my inventory, period, at any time. But for me, a lot of the changes that I want to see are like, you know, I want a different warp animation. I want them to open the skybox. I want it to. I don't want the immersion to be broken when I'm going through space. You know, they've already been able to prove, for example. So, and this is something to actually get excited about. But they've already been able to prove, okay, that when you look up at a night sky in No Man's Sky, you're looking at actual star systems that pertain to your galactic map. So it's just one step closer, okay, to just taking that warp animation away and just having you point to that star. Like, I should be able to access the galactic map from anywhere. Let's say I get in my ship right now. I should be able to pull up the galactic map, select a system. That system is highlighted somewhere over here, and then I just fucking fly towards that at whatever speed they want me to do it, whatever new animation or style that they consider warp. But it needs to be like I need to be heading that direction, because right now it doesn't matter what direction you're pointing. The star system could be behind you and below you, 3,000 light years away, and you're facing the total opposite direction, and you just click on it, and then boom, you're warping. It just, I don't know. I'm going on a lot about that. I need to stop. It bugs me. For me, like, and HiddenJewAgenda agrees as well. For me, it breaks the immersion, and I don't like Elite Dangerous that much. I feel like it's pretty boring. The planetary exploration isn't as good as this game. There's a lot of things. I don't want to compare this to Elite Dangerous. They're totally different. This is, for me and for what I like, No Man's Sky is a better game. But that is one thing that they could borrow from Elite Dangerous that I feel like would make the game better. Let me get caught up in the chat here. Swords LG Farm. He held me hostage there for a while. Yes, Dark Wolf. It's a great farm. See, well, I think you were held hostage there for a different reason. But I sometimes will stay here for hours and hours and hours over a couple of different days worth of play sessions, because he puts a trade terminal in every one of the bases that he does. So I can just, and now that me and him are in the same hub basically, I can just fly to, I don't need a portal, I don't need to do anything, I can just fly to his bases. So I just sit there and I'll just farm and craft and sell it right at that trade terminal. And then while I'm waiting for the shit to grow back, I'll go like grab some iron, plutonium, thamium from the planet I'm on, whatever, and then come back, and I'll just stay here and just keep knocking out 20 million, 20 million, 20 million. Funny M says, would like to have access to other ships' inventories and be able to swap from the planet. Peter Amstrom, don't want to change the inventory, maybe just make it smaller, maybe just because I'm on PC. Semtex says, yeah, that is what people tell me. I don't think so, though. You definitely sound like Sean Murray. Funny M says, shit was hilarious. Grammy says, what's going on? Hey, Grammy, what's going on, Grammy? Nice to see you in the chat. Sword says, for your information, you can transfer from freighter to base storage and collect from container if freighter is in the system. Oh, okay. That's cool. Grammy says, or Sword says, hi, Grammy. Deep breast panda. Semtex says, hey. I guess because I was talking about the warp animation. 1,000 Omegon. Wow, ballin'. Well, I never was able to find Omegon in the wild in this game. Ever. Never came across it. And didn't know how, didn't know where to find it. And I had a couple of technology pieces that I needed Omegon to make. Particularly my my warp, or not warp, but my jetpack Theta, which I've had that technology going all the way back to like Foundation probably. But I needed Omegon to complete it, and I just never found it. Never found a trade station with it. Never found an outpost with it. Never found it in the wild. Didn't find it anywhere. And then good old Magical Sword one day told me, hey, by the way, just so you know, you can actually just like put a trade terminal on your space station, and you'll always be able to buy Omegon. And fucking sure as shit, I did it. I put a trade terminal on my space station, or in my space freighter, and I can just buy it whenever I need it. So the only reason I'm storing 1,000 is just in case the update comes and it changes anything, and you can no longer buy Omegon that way or something. Then I've got it just sitting, on standby in case I need it to make something else. So that's kind of why I've hung on to it. But yeah, for those that don't know, if you are in need of Omegon and don't know where to find it, just build it on your trade terminal, or I mean in your space station, and you can get it whenever you want. So Okay, liquid glass. Couldn't remember what the fuck I was making here. Okay. So I need lubricant. Alright, cool, 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 cool.
Product constructed.
But yeah, in inventory management, yeah, they can do some improvements on that for sure. I definitely support that. Um, warp animation, gotta go. Gotta be something different. I would like the ability just to fly between stars. So like, even if you like right now, if you don't have any warp fuel, even if a star is only, let's say, 3 light years away, if you don't have any warp fuel, you cannot go. Okay. Well, you shouldn't have to waste resources on that if you don't, if it's 3 light years away. Maybe your pulse drive can get you there. You know, somebody might not mind pulsing for 10 minutes to get somewhere just to not be blowing plutonium and phanium on making warp cells or something. You know, just kind of spitballing. I'd like to be able to just buy warp cells. How cool would that be? Right? If they introduce player trading, that would really help out too, because you know, people can help you with stuff that you don't have or can't find or whatever, you know. But I would like the ability to just buy freighter fuel, like warp fuel. So like when you go to a space station in a system, you know, and you've got a 48 slot hauler like I do, what if I want to buy 50 warp cells? Why not? If I've got the money, rather than me sit there and have to craft it every time, I should just be able to buy it.
Product constructed. Radiation protection. Falling.
See you later, Monk Speed. Sphinx Coma says, fiction, No Man's Sky goes gold. Where storage employee smuggle a retail version of Xbox version and you know him. What would you do? Oh, you're saying somebody smuggled a version of the X... Oh, like Next? And like gave it to me? To like play ahead of time? Bro, I think that's what you're saying. I would fucking lose my mind. That's what would happen. I wouldn't stream it or anything, so I wouldn't get in trouble, but I would fucking dabble. I would check that out. Like ASAP.
Product constructed.
Reinerdine says, I played 1.0 a while ago and found Omegon everywhere on a planet. Yeah, I don't know. I've never been that lucky. I've just never been able to find it. I've come across Marine and Radnox and all kinds of shit. Sac Venom and all kinds of stuff. Just never really came across Omegon. Ever. Not once. Sword says, if I start a fourth account, that's going to be the name. What's going to be the name? Oh, Magical Sword. Panda says, Panda, I'm currently at a trade station now, stalking a ship. I feel compelled to tease you with a video because the terminal and an NPC is selling it there. Alright, let's make some glass.
Product constructed.
Sword, you're going to be disappointed in me, but I'm only at 242 million, man. But that's better than the 30 million I was at not that long ago. when I bought my new freighter.
Product constructed. Radiation protection falling. Inventory full. Product constructed. Inventory full. Product constructed. Radiation protection offline. Product constructed.
Come on, let me get it. There we go. Do not know why it wasn't letting me grab that one.
Radiation protection
Alright.
stabilizing.
So 5, 10, 15, 20, 28. Okay. How much glass have I got? 5, 10, so I do more glass. That doesn't make any sense. Oh. Still doesn't make any sense. I need more glass. Oh, you know what I think happened? I think I already had a couple of lubricant in there. That's why. Okay. I was like, that should line up perfectly, but it didn't.
Product constructed.
Am I missing any crossword? Nope.
Radiation protection stabilizing.
And then right here from his farm, you just sell the shit. Wow. Got your money. It would help if I put it in my exo suit.
Units received. Units received.
Forgot I had this liquid explosive as well.
Units received.
What's going on, Tomcat? Nice to see you in here. Funny Imp says I can get over warp cells, but I'm gonna need them to let me buy voltaic cells, or at least buy marrow bulb. Then we can craft it with carbon or something. That too. Yeah, dude. Star bramble, that shit is the worst. You get like 25 every time you harvest it. But yeah, marrow bulb can be a pain in the ass because you need it to make voltaic cells, and you need a lot of voltaic cells, especially if you're doing like if you're harvesting other players' farms and shit, and like visiting bases where you need an exocraft. You're constantly having to like build them. So yeah, just being able to buy voltaic cells would be handy, man. Like I don't like that you can't do that. Sword says, yeah, always check NPCs when I stream to screw with Panda because I see it every stream. Uh, Stark says, if we can do player trading, we can create our own stores and economy. I think that they're going to have some form of that when the update drops. Like players will be able to trade items back and forth because Sean said that you can help other players survive. So I would imagine that you can transfer inventory items to them. I don't know if that means in exchange for units or not, but I think that there's going to be some light form of player trading when the update drops. That throughout patches they'll flesh out a little bit better once they kind of see what the needs are and how it is for players and shit. Um, Welcome to Starquill's Freighter Warp Fuel Emporium. I would go there all the time, dude. It's the one thing that keeps me from exploring more than I do is that you have to craft like 4 different things to make warp fuel, and the most important things that you need in the game, you need to make it. Like so, you need thamium and plutonium, which like you need for everything. Your ship to fly, to power your weapons, like fucking everything. You know, and you got to use that to just make a warp cell. I'd like to just buy it. Uh, Sphinx coma with a smiley face emoji. Fuck yeah, dude. I don't know what I'd do if I came across a copy of No Man's Sky Next, like an early dude. I would shit. Like they said, they've been playtesting it for 6 months. Like I don't know if that means just inside their studio only, or like have they been playtesting it like with a test group? Like are there people out there who have got their hands on this? These like lucky bastards that have played this new version of No Man's Sky that we've got to wait a month and 24 days to get or whatever, or however long it's going to be. Semtex says, I started a new save to get back into Euclid today. I'm heading to the hub. I pledge allegiance to the Cobras and Cobrets and will defend the Alliance until my starship falls, burning from the skies. Yeah, dude. And Semtex, just so you know, because like I'm part of the Galactic Consortium. I'm a leader there. Tempest and Sword as well as a leader there. And you know, basically we are starting our own defense organization. So to me, what Sean Murray said, I don't think that we're necessarily getting like full-fledged, you know, full-fledged PvP per se, but there is going to be an element of it, okay? And he said that if you're that guy, that you know you can prey on other players, and people do that now. It technically should not even be possible in the game, but by sort of, you know, going through and overriding people's bases and doing things like that, people already create chaos. So now when you give players player models and multiplayer and the ability to truly create chaos by being able to harm other players, you're going to have a faction of people out there that thrive on that and that want to do that. And we have a lot of assets in the Galactic Consortium, and not just our own assets, but we have partner assets. You know, we have people that have helped us to build up our data bank. So we have our own farms, but we have farms from people in the Amino Hub that have submitted, from TOG that have submitted. We have farms from, you know, from players who have trusted us with their portal addresses and things like that. And so for us, you know, we want to make sure that those players are defended. You know, we want to make sure that there is a way to protect their assets. So we're going to be starting our own defense team that we're currently doing polls on what we should call it right now, and we're having our members come up with names. But we're going to protect our assets because those players are going to be there, man. The people that are going to come and wreak havoc. So the reason I bring that up, Semtex, is because any group that is allied with the Galactic Consortium has our protection. You know, most members of the Galactic Consortium are very wealthy in the game, have freighters and all kinds of stuff, multiple ships, exotics, you name it, S-class, everything. and we'd love nothing more than to help our allies and make sure that people aren't fucking around. So um, that's pretty much kind of the next step of the Galactic Consortium is that we're going to have our own. I don't like to use the term military because we're a trade organization, um, but yeah, we're going to have our own sort of defense force, which I'm really excited about. So we sort of are involved in our own sort of United Nations in the No Man's Sky community. If that makes any sense. So we currently have a method of seeking out and destroying those who cause harm currently, and we're going to be expanding on that, and that's really fucking exciting. So can't wait to bring that to you guys. Especially if players can purchase the help of people as like wingmen or like to help them destroy a freighter or fight another player. We may end up establishing our own mercenary guild as well. So that's something that I've definitely been putting a lot of thought into as well. Is like, I love dogfighting in the game. I love space combat, and so I've thought very long and hard about what if you could start your own mercenary guild, and I would sign up for that. I would definitely kill pirates or whatever for units. I'd take bounties. Like, how cool would it be if you can place a bounty on someone, and then somebody could, in exchange for credits, can take that bounty, and then you can go kill that player or whatever. It'd add a pretty cool layer. I mean, I don't need multiplayer in No Man's Sky, and I'm not real big into PvP, but I can see the potential for how cool something like that would be. So, alright, let's go sell this shit. Oops. I feel like living glass is probably like one of the more profitable things you can craft because the ingredients that you need to make it like grow every 30 minutes. So even though circuit boards technically make you more money per unit, it doesn't really matter with Swords Farms because this gives you like 23 million units worth of liquid glass, which then grows in 30 minutes or some shit. So it's like the best thing ever. Especially if you're like me and you don't have the blueprints yet. Like, I've been going to manufacturing plant, over and over and over again, and I keep just getting units instead of technology blueprints. So I do not have the technology blueprint to actually fucking buy or make freighter fuel or fusion igniter or stasis device or any of that stuff. So I have to be relegated to like just crafting your base, liquid explosive, liquid glass, um, and circuit board stuff. So Swords Farms have really helped out. Whereas like HiddenJewAgenda, he can make fusion igniters. So that guy, he's made well over 1 billion units, and he's probably on his way to 2, and I'm at 200 and something million. Now he hasn't been spending his money like I spend it, like I buy it on freighters and shit. But yeah. Sword says, no worries, bro. Not everyone is cut out for awesomeness. Stark says, I got to get back to some farming, down to 17 million units after the new S-Class ship and freighter purchase. Yep, you have the same disease as me, Stark. It's like you spend it as soon as you get it. Funny Imp says, Panda, bring up your exosuit inventory real quick, please. Okay. There it is. Are you about to make fun of the fact that like I don't have any technology in my technology slots? So I've like limited myself to like my normal inventory because people keep telling me like I need to break down all of this shit right here and just put it in my tech slots. But like I haven't done it. So Reiner Dies says I'm just about to hit 1 billion. One more stasis device to go. There you go, dude. That's awesome, dude. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Sorry for the language, guys. I have a tendency to do that. No, that's awesome, dude. I know for a fact that I've made more than 1 billion units in the game, like easily, probably tens of billions of units total. I've just never had that on hand because I keep buying freighters and different shit with it. Um, Tomcat says, nice hauler. Been wanting to upgrade to a better hauler, but I've only reached 100 million. Tomcat, join the Galactic Consortium if you're not already there, man, and we can help you do that. You know, especially if you move to the Consortium hub, Sword is seeding farms in the Consortium hub right now. He's got like 5. So, and then with the help of TOG, we have gas harvester bases now. They've figured out how to glitch that. The geniuses over at TOG. So, between TOG assets and Consortium hub assets, you can make quite a lot of money very quickly. And if you join the Galactic Consortium, you know, we're on subreddit, and we're also, you can download the Amino app and join there. And from there, you can access a ton of other portal addresses and base codes, but other communities. We have a link to TOG if you want to join TOG and be a part of that community, or you know, the Amino Hub or whatever. So check it out, man. You'll make a lot of money there pretty quick because we have a lot of stuff in our data bank to utilize. This hauler that I have, actually, I found this hauler in Sword system, the one that I have. In fact, I think in this very system I'm in now. So, and right after I just got done making money at his farm, I flew up to the space station to sell the shit, because I ended up having so much in my inventory. It was easy in my Starship inventory. It was just easier to go to the space station and sell it. So I went up there, and when I came out, the ship was there. And I was like, well, goddamn. And I just flew down real fast, and I bought it and just wasted a bunch of the money that I had just made. But, yeah, man. It basically, after I bought my last freighter and this hauler, my money like went down to like 30 million. And then just in the matter of a few days of playing, I'm back up to 266 million, predominantly, you know, thanks to TOG and Consortium. So, Semtech says, where would be the best place for me to get info on the hub and how to get there, guys? Preferably smartphone noob friendly. Which hub? There's a ton of hubs, like Cobra's a convergence cluster hub. I'm not really sure because I'm not a part of that hub, and so I haven't like looked into how to get there. But there's the Galactic hub, there's the Consortium hub, there's the Amino hub. There's a lot of hubs out there. I would say if you're looking to just be part of a hub in general, download the Amino app and then just join the different No Man's Sky communities in there. NMS Cafe is one of my favorites in terms of like sharing stuff. Like I'll go in there and I'll write like short fiction, you know, based on like No Man's Sky fiction, and I'll share like some of my favorite screenshots and just different stuff like that. It's like a really great place for that kind of thing. And it's just a really friendly community. So like download Amino, join NMS Cafe, join the Amino Hub, TOG, which stands for Top of the Galaxy, and join the Galactic Consortium. And they're all very beneficial for a variety of different reasons, and they're all good communities. But if you're talking about the Cobra Convergence Cluster, I'm not sure how to get there. Because before he started that, I was already working on the Consortium stuff with Tempest. So I was kind of already committed to that. Tomcat says, I think you can find that index on the Amino Hub. Yeah. If you're talking about the Amino Hub, download the Amino app and join the Amino Hub community. You got a bunch of badass dudes in the Amino Hub. Because not only is Sword a leader in the Galactic Consortium, he's also a member of the Amino Hub, and you've got Boyd and Ogalos and all those guys over there, or Olologos, I don't even know how to say it, but a ton of great guys. Funny Imp says, Panda, if you want more inventory space, I suggest you get rid of the Sigma and Tau environmental protection pieces. keep only thetas for each on coolant, radiation, etc. I never thought about that actually, just only keeping the thetas. Yeah, I should definitely do that. And I should probably put them in the technology slots. I was thinking about moving as much of this technology as possible to the tech slots, just to create more space here. I've just been too lazy to do it. Semtech says, "I'm so down. I'll sign up to the Protectorate. You fly, I'll shoot." Hell yeah, dude! So download the Amino app, join the Galactic Consortium, and as soon as you're a member, you can join our fleet that we're forming, and we'll be able to dispatch anywhere and defend our assets and allies at any time. Um, Tomcat says, "Do you think the Viking, Gek, and Korvax should influence the gameplay towards us players, such as allegiances as to what alien race you were siding on?" Yeah, I think some sort of conflict in the game would be superbly helpful, right? Like, I feel like we need that. Like, we need conflict in the game. Um, I love the peaceful experience of No Man's Sky, but after a year and a half of playing, of going through all the different lore the game has to offer about the different races that are involved and all of these different things, um, it would be nice, honestly, uh, to have that. It would be nice to have a conflict in the galaxy and have it matter. And it was one of the things that I was looking forward to when they were out selling the game. Was they talked a lot about factions, and right now there's not factions. But to be honest, I don't think that the Gek and the Viking and the Korvax are going to have as much to do with it as we think. I think that the formula that they're going to utilize is that they're going to have the players, because they see that a lot of players are relegated to their own hubs and have their own player factions. So I think that Sean Murray and the people at Hello Games are going to put a larger focus on player hubs, player factions. So I think that we're going to see a lot more of that, which would be very cool. So I could be wrong. I don't have anything to base it on, and I don't know the lore as well as others do to make a call on that. But my suspicion would be that that because we have players that have already picked their own corners of the universe and have already established their own sort of networks and their own colonies and things like that, and building advanced colonies is going to be part of this next update. I feel like there is going to be factions out there, and those factions will eventually go to war, and it's all going to be player driven rather than story driven. What do you think? Do you think that's a good guesstimation, or do you think I'm off base? I just think that it would be super cool for it to break down that way. You know what I mean? What I find really interesting is like the lore is blending, the Waking Titan lore is blending with this lore and with the game lore about how the travelers got there, what they are, god damn it, and all that kind of stuff, and I think that that's going to flesh itself out more. Because obviously if you've been following the lore, we're in a simulation. This isn't the real galaxy. That we're somehow stuck in a simulation. And that, like, where did this to us? Steven Vandersant, what's going on, man? Says, what will happen to creation mode when the game launches multiplayer? Will we keep progress? Yeah, no, absolutely. So every major update that Hello Games has put through has not affected player progression at all. It might throw your base off, it might fuck a few things up, but as far as like how much money you have, what you have in your inventory, the technology that you have, all of that you're going to continue to have. You're going to continue to have. I feel like I don't see anything happening with that. So to answer your question, I don't think it'll affect player progression. I think you should you know, everything will be fine for you. Semtex says GPA Galactic Protectorate Alliance. Is that a suggestion for the name that you're thinking of that we should call it? Semtex, or is that something that you're trying to start or you're already a part of? If that's a name you're suggesting, man, yeah, dude, join the consortium and throw that in there. We're going to be doing another poll, and then we're going to take the finalists and do a vote on that. So, Funny Imp says, as for warp cells, and I'm going to get caught up on the chat because I fell really far behind. As for warp cells, the log the systems with antimatter being sold at trade stations. That way people can go there, buy antimatter, and only need thamium to craft warp cells, 100 thamium per cell. Yeah, I mean, if you have a space station, okay, you should just be able to buy fuel. Because in my mind, in a galaxy where you have a space station, it would be logical that the space station would sell away for people to refuel. Every sci-fi novel, every sci-fi movie that's ever been made, you know what I'm saying? You can, I don't know. Space stations should sell freighter fuel, just period. I can't like collect my thoughts, but that's just the way that it should work. Starkwolf says, bounty system? I would love a bounty system, dude. I'm telling you, I would start a mercenary guild. He says, I'm first recruit for the mercs. Yeah, dude. I got 2 fighters and 3 exotics, and I want to put them to good use. Steven Manderson says, I'm Galaxed in No Man's Sky in PX4. I'm not sure what that means.
Technology recharge.
Oh, gotcha. That's your username. Add me as a friend, please. No, I certainly will. I'll do that just here in a moment. Funny Imp says, hey Steven, I think creative will be just fine. It became too popular once it was introduced. Yeah. I have a creative save just for like visiting base builds, like the crazy base builds that people put together. Plus, it's a more chill game experience, right? So it's like there's a ton of benefit to it. If you're just trying to like hop on for, you know, an hour and just, you know, rattle off some stuff. Ryder says, I think PvP will be a separate game mode. Co-op will be in all other modes. You know, I don't know, to be honest. I really don't know. Because Sean Murray said you'll be able to prey on other players if you're that guy, right? So he said it in a way that makes me think that they'd be blending the PvP experience into the normal galaxy. Because if you're playing with other like-minded people in a PvP session, then you wouldn't be, quote-unquote, that guy, right? When he said that guy, he was referring to that troll that wants to come and grief players. And I don't know, if you're doing a PvP deathmatch, you're not that guy. because everybody there is like you. Does that make sense? Like, hopefully, like, I'm kind of clarifying, like, my thought there. But I would prefer that they left them, that they were two separate modes, because I would much prefer, like, co-op most of the time. But to me, it didn't sound like that's what they're doing. And if they are introducing PvP, I'm good anyway, because I've got everything I need. I've got an A-class freighter, S-class exotics. You know, I've got A-class fighters. I've got everything I need. You know, I would start my own military with the Galactic Consortium and my own mercenary guild, and that's it. I would just have to adapt to whatever changes they bring. You know. Steven Vandersant says only Xbox users must start from the beginning. Yeah, dude. They'll have no choice. The way that Sean Murray talks about how Xbox will have all the will have the base version of No Man's Sky plus all the updates, he's almost making it sound like they'll be able to boot into the different versions of the game over the years, or like is he just saying that they're going to have everything at launch available to them? He's been wording things really weird, and it confuses me. I don't know. It's just the way that he words it. It brings too much speculation in my mind. I really don't think PvP in No Man's Sky is going to be an issue. If you want to get lost in the galaxy, it's easy enough to do so. I agree. And here's what makes me say that. There's already a lot of people that play No Man's Sky, and we can have 16-player lobbies. We have portals. We can all meet up, no problem. Okay? We can all just meet up whenever we want. There's not ever been one time, okay, where well, actually, I take that back. When I was living in the Galactic Hub, I did randomly come across players, like randomly. So, but very few. It's easy to be alone in this game because you have, you know, basically an infinite amount of space that you can hide in. So, being alone is pretty easy. So I agree with Stark Wolf on that. The PvP may not be that big of an issue, because it wouldn't be difficult for you to be alone. And that does make a lot of sense. And he says, he also says, I want full-on PvP in all modes. The galaxy's so big that, and the player base isn't populating all of the galaxy. It'd be impossible for it to. And I've never really kind of thought about it in that context, Stark Wolf, and that makes a lot of sense, man. That, yeah, the galaxy is so huge that even with PvP just being an open game mode, you could avoid it if you so choose. I need to build a beacon here. Can't build a beacon here. With that. Hopefully now that I've been here, the trade outpost just stays on the map. Well, you know what? I can build a comm ball. I just want a surefire way to be able to mark this spot. Rider9 says, I kind of want that too, but worry some busier places like the center of the galaxy will be swamped with PvP. So here's my opinion on this. Sean Murray is inspired by a lot of different sci-fi things, right? He talks a lot about, um, or at least in the older times of the game, he talked a lot about, Frontiers, Elite Dangerous, and stuff like that. There's a game out there called EVE Online, and I've made this comparison before, so if I'm redundant, I'm sorry. But we have Sentinel forces in the game now that sort of serve as the galactic security. And I would imagine that they're going to expand on that. Now, there's a game called EVE Online, and what you have is from the last time that I played, the game could be very different now, but you had 3 different regions of the universe, basically. You had what was called high sec, or high security. You had low sec, which was low security, and then null sec, which was no security. So in high security, you could attempt to grief a player if you wanted to, but the security would be so heightened in that area that and there's no way you could beat them, right? It's the in-game police, the NPC. They're essentially invincible. So if a player griefed you in a high security system, you're done. You know, that griefer is done. The game will take them out. And then you have low security, okay? And low security, you can grief a player, that they're going to send police at you. You might be able to defeat them, or the consequences are like less dire for like low security. And then you have null sec, which is like no security, okay? And it's a free-for-all, it's a bloodbath. Now, in nullsec, you can loot players and all kinds of shit that you can't do in high security. There's things that you might be able to find there that are different. So there's a reason to go to nullsec if you're an adept player that can handle themselves in nullsec. And I think that No Man's Sky is going to adopt that principle with the Sentinels. So I think that in hub systems, or systems that Hello Games has deemed, okay, high security, that will have a heightened Sentinel presence, PvP would not exist there, or it would be very difficult for it to exist there, because the consequences would be drastic for players that engage in PvP in those systems. Then you would have your medium security systems, where there might be instances of that, but they're isolated and handled. Then you'd have low security, where you can grief and PvP and fuck around, but to a certain extent, and the security would eventually get to you, and then there might just be like lawless zones where there are no Sentinel presence at all. You know, I think that would be a good way to handle that in the game, is to essentially have areas of space, not necessarily individual star systems, but entire clusters, okay, that are high or low Sentinel presence, or no Sentinel presence, and then that would essentially break players away into areas of space that have the sort of play experience they want. So players that want to be that PvP guy and do the space battles and shit like that, they're going to go to the no security systems, the PvP areas, okay? And if you're a bounty hunter, like if you're like a mercenary, that would add a fun layer to that, because in order to get a bounty, you may need to go to a high security area, or a no security PvP area to get that bounty. And if it's worth the price, it might be worth the risk. I know. Hopefully, I kind of made that clear. Ooh, got a message from Game Mode here. It says loved his visit. If I can get it to show up. Anyway, shout out to Game Mode. But yeah, see, server problems again. Base won't load. It's probably available for me to claim. Yeah. But what do you guys think of that? If you haven't already responded, what do you think of if they handled PvP in that way by just having systems with different security levels? Um, let's see here. Ryder Don says I kind of want that too, but no. Funny Imp says be prepared to lose bases, Steven. Apparently that happened on the last large update, but your progress will be saved. Yeah, my base got confused with Andy Krychek's base, and his base was underground, so I had to move, like again. So and he had to move because his base was underground. There's actually I forget the Twitter handle. If somebody knows it, please put it in the chat section and be on the lookout for that. But there's actually a guy who he has a degree in archaeology, but he's doing like digital archaeology as like a major now or something like that. And he's like writing books on it. But what he does is he plays No Man's Sky, and he because of all the different updates and how things have changed, he goes through and uncovers ruins. He's got pretty cool stuff on his Twitter, like where he went to the Galactic Hub and there was a base that was underground, and he's used the terrain manipulator to essentially unbury it because it ended up under the ground. So it's kind of funny because he's sort of like a real life archaeologist, but in No Man's Sky, and he's got a lot of interesting stuff. So comment that because it'd be sick. Um, Tomcat says, "Thanks, Panda. I've joined up already. Appreciate that, dude." Steven Vandersent says, "I want to join also." Yeah, just download the Amino app. It's on Android and Apple, and just join. Look for the Galactic Consortium, and go ahead and join up, man. Operation Game says, "Hey, Panda, how are new sub or how are you?" I'm doing pretty good, Operation Game. How's your channel going, man? I subbed to you, and Sword told me about you, man, and so I wish you great success, and I hope you're enjoying No Man's Sky. Funny M says, "Steven, I encourage you to join, especially if you like creative mode. We have some very cool builders there, and I think you'll have a lot of fun." Yeah, for sure. Specifically in the Amino Hub, um, there's just really cool shit, man, to like look at, especially if you play creative mode. Good lord, there's just so many cool builds there. Um, Boyd Gaming made my channel logo is different now, but Boyd Gaming actually built my old channel logo as a base. It was incredible, and I tricked I tricked Cobra into featuring it on his channel. Um, Starkwolf says, "I've always wanted a constant aggro threat creating conflict." Yeah, it would definitely make a pretty big improvement to the game, for sure. I think we've been alone in No Man's Sky like long enough now that like we could do with some sort of threat. I think that at this point, it would be good for us to have something different to do. Um, Semtex says, "Okie dokes, I'll get Amino app. That's super helpful. Thank you. If you want to reorganize your inventory, check out Zane World's video on YouTube. It will min-max best your exo build." Yeah, I gotta really look more into Zane. Sword told me about a lot of his stuff, and a lot of what he's learned from Zane he implements in his own builds. So I need to take a look at that as well. I'm sub to his channel. I just haven't delved into that sort of stuff because I've been more of an explorer in the game than I have been any sort of a builder. You know. So yeah. A Tomcat says, "Would be cool if all hell breaks loose simply because of some diplomatic differences, and we the players are having to choose to protect. It would give us greater reason to go against each other." Yeah, no, like 100%. Like, and I think that might actually be a thing, which would be seriously fucking cool. So like, I kind of want that to happen. Um, it would be awesome. Uh, Hey, Generic, what's going on? I don't know how long you've been there, but I'm just trying to get caught up on the chat. When I'm by myself, it's kind of overwhelming. But thanks for joining. Uh, Funny M says lunch is over. Back to lurking. I'll keep up. I'll keep up with the chat. All right, man. See you later. You'll probably do a better job than me, dude. Agent Eric says I hope HG adds more Sentinel types to the next update. Me too. I would like to see sort of like a humanoid Sentinel presence that is quick and agile, and you have to, take cover, and there's a tactical element to how you defend yourself. I don't know how hard that would be to do, but I would like to see something like that. Semtech says literally just found the best planet ever. 2 different types of Ewok creatures: purple long grass, thick green trees, weather type, mellow, mellow. That's awesome, dude. See, I'm the opposite, Semtex. I like dead, radioactive, or scorched, just fucked planets, like kind of like the one I'm on now. The worse off the planet is, the better I like it, because I play this game to see like crazy alien different things. So the more something looks like Earth, the less I like it. Now, if it's a tropical planet that looks really different than Earth, let's say purple grass, orange ocean, like crazy shit like that, then fine. You know, if it looks like super different and just has like some similarities to like Earth, okay, you know. But if we're talking like green grass, blue ocean, trees, like shit like that, it's like, dude, I have that in my backyard. You know. Like the deader, the better, for me. Like I miss old like Foundation and pre-Foundation like dead planets. That was a terrible landing. I legit thought I was closer to this landing pad than I was. Hey Sword, if you're watching this cryo pump, that's something I need to make a stasis device, right? See, like, here's Fusion Igniter. It's worth 18 million units. All you need is a quantum processor, freighter fuel, geodesite, okay? Freighter fuel, you need liquid explosive and fusion accelerant. So you have to create, like, all these different things. I don't have fusion accelerant blueprint, I don't think. So I need to get the blueprint for a fusion accelerant in order to make this. And then with this, I can make freighter fuel. Now, I can craft geodesite, I think. Maybe not. No, I can. I can craft geodesite. So, I can make fusion igniters if I can just get the blueprint for fusion accelerant, and I need carbon something or other, enhanced carbon in order to make quantum processor. So I need those 2 blueprints, and then I could be making some fusion igniters and using those gas harvesters from the TOG, because if you can see right here, 18 mil a pop. Okay, so you can get to 1 billion real quick using a TOG method. But for whatever reason, man, I don't know if it's a glitch in the game, but I've just not been coming across new tech. They just give you the credits. I just get the units for it. Whoever smoked weed and then plays No Man's Sky is going to be epic in multiplayer. Yeah, probably, dude. It says, I found a planet that looks like an Egyptian desert. Hell yeah. TSS 958 Gaming says, I feel and hope that PvP will be server-based. There will be a PvP lobby and PvE lobby. I feel that would be best. That makes sense as well, though. Yeah, I feel like the game has enough game modes. I feel like if anything, they're going to unify the experience, but uh, they can sort of create the idea of modes by having different levels of security that protect different parts of the systems. And so I feel like that would be a better method to do it and a more immersive way of doing it. Um, and by the way, guys, if you're not subscribed to TSS 958, go do that. Um, he does some No Man's Sky stuff, but more than that also. So there's a lot of other games that they stream there, and pretty good content coming out of there. I try to catch the streams whenever I can. Hasn't been as often these days, but whenever I get the notification and I'm available, I try to check it out. So make sure you guys go sub the channel. Uh, what funny imps say? Oh, what's up, J Spot? Welcome back. Cuz Walt in the chat. What's going on, dude? Are they going to unlock unit caps? They should. I don't know why you can only make 4.5 billion units. You should be able to make more than that. Um, I agree, Semtex. Whatever Hello Games does, they're going to do it well. I'm going to go ahead and skip down here. J-Spot says, I think they're going to either not allow you to terrain edit by your base, have it only used in creative mode, or get rid of it completely. The reason for it being because it would be possible to buy a player's base, whoever doesn't have it. I don't know about all that. I think when you have a person like Boyd Gaming and like the people over at the Amino Hub who like build these crazy bases, how cool would it be if they could? I think I've talked about this before, and J-Spot might be kind of hinting towards it actually. But if you can buy another player's build and that player get the units for it, that would be fucking awesome. Like that would be sick. So they would essentially build a structure in the game, and then they could list it as like a property to sell, like move-in ready type thing. I think that would be awesome. I didn't even have to read that. Vikeen always respond to violence. This planet looks almost identical to my last home planet. But my last home planet had a lot more pink.
Radiation protection. Stabilizing.
But it's like nearly identical. Kind of makes me homesick. Figured that's what that was going to be. Sarkwolf says no more modes, PvP for all. If you want single player, just turn network settings off. Yeah, I mean there's that option too. I don't think that they should force PvP on people. That's why I think that there should be safe areas, high sentinel presence areas, where players can go and not worry about being griefed by other players. Because when No Man's Sky came out and didn't have multiplayer, the people that really wanted that feature left. Okay? So the only people that really stayed behind now are people who don't want that sort of experience. So a majority of the players do not want to be forced into like PvP. Most of the players that stuck around, because that's what they liked about the game that came out, is that it didn't have that for a lot of them, right? So I don't think that Hello Games is going to take the approach of like sort of forcing PvP onto people. They're gonna find a way to make it make sense for people. Eh, pretty generic tropical planet. I was hoping it'd be cool. TSS Gaming says, "Well, thank you, Mr. Panda. No problem, dude. But I really mean that. I think you were streaming Ghost Recon a while back, and I think that's how I came across your channel, actually, originally. So I was playing for. I might get back into it, but for a while I was playing Ghost Recon Wildlands, pretty goddamn hard. But now these days, if I'm not playing No Man's Sky, I'm playing God of War. Which, if you guys haven't seen that game, Jesus, you should really check that shit out. That is a great, great game. Probably one of the best I've ever played. Ever. Just the storyline and everything of it, man, it's good. Got Dave Langer in the chat. What's going on, Dave Langer? Shout out to Dave Langer from Cuzworld there. Dave Langer says the way to do PvP is just to have the PvP areas be yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I've been saying. I made a reference that a lot of people might not know, but I sort of likened it to how they do it in EVE Online. I think the way that EVE, at least from the last time that I played EVE Online, the way that they do it, I feel is very effective, you know, by having the different conflict level areas. Dragon Boy says, more than likely you will be able to turn off PvP, or there will be PvP-centered servers. Yeah, I just don't know. I feel like they're going to incorporate it, but they're gonna find a clever way of allowing people to stay clear from that sort of gaming if they don't want that sort of experience. Dave Langer says they already have that marked on the star map. Yeah, I've said on many streams, Dave Langer, that every update comes with a hint, and that happened from the very first major update with Atlas Rises. I mean, with Foundation, is that every update has a hint. You know, everything builds on the last thing. You know, it's the foundation of things to come, right? To sort of quote the game update there. But you know, have you noticed that in the new star map, you know, people say, oh, well, I prefer the old star map, I like the old star map. Well, the old star map's better for how the game is now, right? The new star map doesn't really make sense. It's confusing. Like, if you look at it here, because it shows a sun and it shows planetary orbits. And I'm going to get to Dave Langer's point here in a second. But it shows a sun and it shows planetary orbits. But we know that there isn't planetary orbits. Like, for a fact. Like, we know that. Like, the star is not something that you can visit in the game and see the orbits of the planets, right? But in the star map, it shows that. Now, Sean Murray knows, because he follows the community and he looks at what people's expectations were and what people talk about, and he knows that one of the big disappointments was that, you know, from the E3 footage, is that the planets don't have orbits around a star. The star is not, it's a skybox, is what we have. The star isn't an object in space that you can visit, like Elite Dangerous, where you can actually visit that system star, where you have to intersect with the orbit of a planet or the object around it. Like, in order to land at a space station in Elite Dangerous, you have to be flying towards it. It's moving a lot of the time, right? Depending on the proximity of that planet to its star, it could have a really fast orbit, okay? And you've got to catch it just right and drop out of frame shift in order to land in the space station. It's all part of the immersion experience of Elite Dangerous. So I have a feeling that we're going to see that in the No Man's Sky update, and that this map, this star map, is a hint, because you can actively watch these planets in their orbits around that star. And they are doing that, I believe, on purpose. That they are doing that to hint at potentially what's to come, right? If you look at this one here, this one not only shows the orbit of the planets, okay, there's a planet, there's two planets in a retrograde orbit, and then one planet in a standard orbit, but it shows the moon's orbital pattern as well. And I'm telling you, they wouldn't do that, okay, because it would piss a lot of people off, because people wanted orbited, they wanted that. I think that this star map was designed to be a hint at what was to come next. I truly believe that. And I think in the next update we're going to have orbiting planets around stars, and the stars will be a physical object in the star system. And going back to Dave Langer's point about the conflict map, why else would that be necessary? It's not like the pirates in the game pose a real sort of valid threat, is it? They're not particularly dangerous. So, why do we have them? Why is that conflict scanner a thing? I think that they're going to expand on the conflict scanner, and I think that you'll see systems that are at war, systems that have faction warfare occurring, systems that have high sentinel presence, low sentinel presence. I think that that's how they're going to separate the PvP from the co-op. So. And that would be a good creative way of doing it, that we can all agree on. If you don't want PvP, you just don't go to those conflict systems, just like Dave Langer mentioned there. Dave Langer says, I also hope the hint at planet rotation orbit is back. Yeah. J-Spot says, I meant the terrain manipulation could be used to bury a player's base. I can't. Oh, I see what you're saying. Except that you're the only one that can see the terrain manipulation. Other players can't see the terrain manipulation. So yeah, they may or may not get rid of that in the next update. Semtex says none going to be forced to play PvP, I'm sure. Yeah, Sean Murray's not going to force it. Like, he knows that people don't want that. Like, he's not going to force that on players. He's going to incorporate it in a smart, functional way, I feel like. So, just like Sean Murray said, he said in an interview that Lush Extreme, marrow and kelp sack. Okay. He said in an interview that the procedural generation system has always been able to do gas giants and ringed planets, and this was before the game even came out. This particular interview. But what he said was the reason why they left that out, or they were going to leave that out, was because he felt that it was important that players be able to explore every planet they come across. Well, now that we have gas harvesters and different technology that we can build on planets, they may expand on that, because obviously in the box art, you see a ringed planet, right? So maybe they're going to find a way for you to be able to mine and harvest a planet's rings. Or if there's gas giants, maybe you can deploy gas harvesters from your ship into the into low orbit on the planet to harvest gas, or something, right? I feel like they're going to expand on the crafting, the farming. We're going to get more planetary biomes, more variation, more types of planets. We're not just getting multiplayer and fucking PvP and stuff. I think that we're going to get a lot with this update. They said it's the biggest update yet. Atlas Rises was in development for 6 months, and it's the biggest update they've ever done. This update's been in development for a year. They've been playtesting it for 6 months. They've been playtesting this update as long as it took them to make Atlas Rises, essentially. I mean, put that into context. What we're possibly getting here. Cuz Walt says, get your conflict scanners, boys and girls. I'll be out there waiting. Hell yeah. Steven Vandersant says, I'm going to shoot him down if I find him in game. Patrick Starkwolf says, thanks for the sub on YouTube, J-Spot, but best to find me on PSN or the Aminos. Yeah, dude, J-Spot, if you're not part of the consortium, dude, join it. You can find Starkwolf there. He's also pretty much, as far as I know, basically every No Man's Sky amino that I've seen. I mean, he's in it. So he's right. That's definitely a great place to find him. TSS Gaming says, "How do you feel about a building factory that would allow you to build a starship from the ground up? So high-end building on your base or random system." Um, the factory would let you pick the type of ship, cabin, body, wings, tail, and capacity for certain costs and materials. Uh, Bro, if that is my dream come true, I would love to see ship customization on a like I want to see ship customization and player model customization. I want to be able to help design my exosuit. I want to be able to pick the colors on my starship, the color pattern. I think that would be awesome. One cool thing that they could do, TSS Gaming, is imagine when you add technology to your starship, that you see the physical representation of that technology like you see with the exocraft. Where with the exocraft, when you add like the advanced scanning on there, you actually see the thing spinning on top of it. You see the mounted cannon moving around. I think that they were sort of testing animations and things like that with the exocraft, and that we might see an expanded version of that on this next update with our regular ships. Like when you add new weaponry and things like that, new warp drives and stuff. I think that it'll change the appearance of your starship or your exocraft or your suit even when you add that technology. I think that's where this is going, because if you look at the box art, everybody in the box art, their suits looked different, right? They all had like a different sort of vibe to their suit. So my guess would be that as you add technology in the game, it affects the physical representation of that in the game. You actually see the modification that you made, but you also get to just freely customize it. Maybe you go to your base, there's a thing there, like sort of like how you see the crashed pods, and you walk inside and there's that thing back there to like add inventory to your suit. Or when you go into space stations and there's the room in the back that where you can upgrade your suit. Well, what if you have that at your base now, and you walk up to that thing, and it kind of zooms out, and your player model is standing inside there, and that is where you're making the modifications to your suit. You can see what you've done, and then it switches back to first-person mode once you've made the changes. I think that would be sick. Hopefully, like I clearly explained my vision there, but I think that we're going to see certain things like that. In this next update, I think we're finally going to see what's behind that door in the space anomaly. Just in case you guys have forgot about that, the space anomalies have a door, and we do not know what's behind it, do we? So it had there was three doors in the space anomaly going all the way back to the very beginning. Okay, and in those doors, they were never able to open except the one that opens for the multi-tool. Okay, then after Atlas rises, the door on the left open, and that's the simulation generator. And I think in the next update we're going to find out what's behind the back door, at the very back behind the console, and that's going to be fucking awesome. Maybe that's where we'll learn about our player models for the first time, right? Maybe that's where, after the update, we're all required, no matter where you are in the game, a space anomaly will just appear. And we're all required to go to the space anomaly. We can't warp, we can't leave, we can't do anything until we go inside the space anomaly. And we go there and we talk to Polo. Because Polo is the one who's always asking you about your surviving, how have you been able to survive, how is your exosuit holding up. He's always asking you for data of all the different animals and things that you scan. Okay, so you go talk to Polo, and Polo says, I've collected all the data that you've given me, and I've been able to make a more effective exosuit for you, and you can go back there and take a look at it or something. And you walk into that room, and then there's your exosuit, and you kind of get to customize the look of it. And I think that's how we're going to be introduced to our player models. Total speculation. I'm probably wrong. But that's the vision I have in my mind of how that would work. Dave Langer says, do you think they will go to another galaxy in the update or keep the 255? I would rather see one great galaxy and make the center something special. In the game's description, when you go to like GameStop or Amazon or Best Buy or whatever, it says that all players are in the same galaxy, not universe. Galaxy. It said that specifically. All players are in the same galaxy. So I think that they're just going to take away the multiple galaxies. And if I'm being honest, I would prefer that because there's just no reason to go anywhere else right now. There's no reason to leave the Euclid. There isn't. But what they could do is they could, when you go to your star map, you could zoom out and see all the different galaxies, and you can travel back and forward between the galaxies with your freighter. That would be cool. So maybe all 255 galaxies are accessible and can be traveled between or something. I think that'd be sick. Dave Linger says they can add fuel scoops like Elite Dangerous has. Yeah, or you could just buy warp fuel from space stations, I mean, I think that's just an easy solution that everybody would like. Funny Imps, responding to TSS, says, if something is added like that, I will start some West Coast Customs type shit. Funny Imp says, also Panda, multi-biome planets. I've been wanting that from the beginning, to be honest. You go to a planet and there's an area of the planet that has cold Arctic tundra, and then there might be warm tropical habitat somewhere on the planet. Having multiple biomes on a single planet would be really awesome, and those kind of planets should be very rare that you come across those. To make it sort of worth it, and to seem special and unique. That they should allow that to be rare. Alright, so I need a lot of fungal mold. You scared, babe? Charge up this toxin suppression right quick.
Technology recharge.
Or a planet that has one side always facing the sun and one side away with tropics in the middle. Just crazy. They just need crazy stuff. They must add nuke bombs to destroy planets. Sort of like a Death Star kind of thing. That'd be kind of cool, I guess. They were making it for 6 months, LOL. Then they play tested and tweak it. They're going to add a ton to the update, not just multiplayer. I 100% agree. I made a video a while back where I speculated that 90% of the next update is going to be multiplayer. But that's because I thought it was going to be sequential. I thought it was going to be 1.4, 1.5, every 3 to 4 months we'd get an update. But when I saw how long this update was taking, I changed my tune and I figured that they would throw it all into the same update. And MZK even started making videos about that, how, Windows, for example, they skipped Windows 9 and went straight to 10 because 10 was so big and so different, and took all the best parts of Windows 7 and some of the good parts of Windows 8 and made Windows 10. And so they skipped 9 altogether. It's not uncommon for developers to do that, and it started to make sense that he was probably right. And now we're learning that that's true. Like, what is 1.5? 1.5 is next. The update is so big that there is no 1.4. They might pull a funny thing like they did with Atlas Rises, where they made 1.3 bug fixes, and then 1.31 was Atlas Rises. So at least that's how it shows on the PlayStation. So they might do something funny like that. With it, which would be hilarious. Like, you get 1.4, which is just bug fixes, and then 1.5, which is like the real thing that everyone's been waiting on. I hope they don't fix any of these glitches, these base building glitches, like how you can glitch. You see how Sword has like glitched the living shit out of these fungal clusters? I hope they don't change that. This kind of stuff has become very useful. Because if you had to do it the good old-fashioned way, man, it would take forever to do anything. Now, just to give you guys a heads up here, in a little while I'm going to be ending the stream because I've got to go run some errands today and I've got a few things to do. So I'm going to be ending it here shortly, just kind of giving you guys like the 2-minute warning. I just realized how long I've been streaming. TSS said it would take out the grinding of trying to find a new ship or grind, but want customization would be awesome. I kind of like some of the grind, but yeah, they've got to cut down on a lot of the unnecessary grind because it's a lot of shooting rocks, you know, and I don't know. I don't know how they do it, but they got to do it. Dragon Boy says, what I'm saying about playtesting multiplayer when he said they were playtesting it while they were building it, making multiplayer when they were playtesting, so the other 6 months were for the other things. Yeah. I mean, maybe. He did say this time, you know, that he made it very clear in his interview with Xbox that they wanted to make sure before they discussed any features or really talked about anything that they knew for sure that nothing would change because that, you know, of what happened before. So I think that just before the update drops, when they're certain of what's going to be in it, I think that there might be a trailer potentially. But they're keeping tight-lipped about it. And I don't know if you guys saw the tweet that he did, where he tweeted somebody did a review that was called "Sean Murray Lied," or yes, Sean Murray lied. And then when you read the review, it was about the person was essentially defending Sean Murray, but Sean Murray retweeted it and said, "Don't worry, guys, everyone will be happy. You're in good hands." I mean, this guy is super confident about this update. You know what I mean? Like, he's super confident about how good this update's going to be. J-Spot says this game is massive. The radius of the galaxy distance from the center to the edge is approximately 2 million light years. Wow, that's crazy. Dave Langer says, well, I meant fuel scoops to harvest gas. Oh, yeah, that would be cool. Fuel scoops to harvest gas planets. That would be sick. No, I see what you're saying now. That's awesome. Semtech says, it's true, I restarted because everyone's in Euclid. Literally, if you plan on seeing other players and visiting other people and stuff like that, I mean, most of the players have just stayed in Euclid. Once we learned that the center was kind of a dull ending, or not really an ending, but you're just restarting everything again, I think it just drove a lot of people away from going to the center, and they've never really fixed it. They've never really given a reason to go. So maybe in this next update they'll give a reason to go to the center. But for now, everybody just come hang out in Euclid. J-Spot says that means from end to end it's more than 4 million light years. That's insane. And you're talking about like if you're looking at the volume, okay, like if you're taking J-Spot, that 4 million light year, and that's just the radius, right? So if you look at the actual volume of the galaxy, the amount of stuff that's inside of it, the amount of stars and everything at 4 million light years in width, that's crazy how big that is. Dave Langer says to Semtex, I think the update will force everyone to start over. No, Dave. I kind of agree. I think that you're going to keep your shit. I think you're going to keep your money and your starships and all that. I think you're going to keep that stuff. But you'll be restarting in the sense of the entire functionality of the game and the way the game is played will fundamentally change. So in a sense, you're going to be starting over from zero. It's just like every other update that we've had, where the same items aren't worth the same amount of money. They're not crafted the same. You need to retool your farms for different things. Everything is going to change. Be prepared for that, and that's okay. Change is good. Agent Eric says, "Do you think the updates will only come out once a year now?" No, but I think this is going to be the last big one for a while. I think we're going to get a lot of patches with this update, but this will be the last major one. Okay. But this will be the last major one. Heads up, guys, my dogs are about to lose their mind. So someone's going to come to the door, and they're going to go crazy. So I apologize for your ears in advance. Cousin Walt says, I think I will have... There we go. Sorry about that, y'all. Cuz Walt says, I think they will have all my ships and my freighter. I want my freighter day one so I can go make a mosh pit in the system. Yeah, I think we're gonna have all the same stuff. Like whatever items you have, you'll still have. I just think that, there's a lot of the reasons why you have certain items might change. Which would totally make sense. Dave Langer says, the updates always have tons of quality of life enhancements. Just because multiplayer is the big thing does not mean that it is the only thing. Just look at when we got Exocraft, we got way more. Yeah, we thought we were getting one type of buggy. We got three. We got, different ship classes. The handling of ships are different based on the type of ship that you have. Like, a lot of things came with Pathfinder and Atlas Rises. If you think that you're getting this and you're getting a ton of shit. Pathfinder, not only did you get 3 Exocrafts with Pathfinder, but you got better base building, more base building tools and things to build. You could not only own freighters, but you could own multiple ships with Pathfinder. It was a complete graphical reset. They introduced 4K support and HDR support in Pathfinder. So, Pathfinder was no joke, man, in terms of the size and the scope of that goddamn update. And we thought we were just getting a buggy and a couple of things, And it's the same thing with Atlas Rises. Everybody was worried about speculation. We're speculating too much. That's what hurt the game. Blah 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 blah. And what ended up happening, just like Cobra said, we didn't speculate enough. We got way more than we thought we were going to get. Plus, you guys got to understand that as long as speculation doesn't become expectation, then it's not dangerous. And Sean Murray himself has stated, okay, that he watches the community. He looks at what we do, the content that people create, the videos that they post, the live stream. He looks at, the subreddit and all that kind of stuff. So if you think about it, you're actually helping the development of the game by speculating and coming up with ideas. Because it helps inform Hello Games as to what you would like to see in the game. So in a way, you're helping it. That's why I've never been afraid to do speculation on this channel. Some people have hated it and unsubbed and gotten mad and left comments about speculating and steering people in the wrong direction, and I've had mean comments about it before. But the thing is that the speculation actually helps Hello Games. Because somebody might come across one of these videos, not necessarily mine, but Cobra's or L Plays or MGK or whatever, and they might go, oh, I've never actually thought of that. That would actually be cool, and we could probably do that. So don't be afraid to speculate. Just don't let it become an expectation of yours. J Spot says multiplayer schmultiplayer. Oh snap! Dave Linger cuz want in the chat. Yeah, you're missing out, bud. Um, Dave Linger says I make my way to YouTube sometimes. Yeah, you're mostly on Twitch now. I need to start streaming to Twitch. I just need a better setup. I need a better setup with. What I need to do is right now I play No Man's Sky. I play my PS4 on the TV in the living room. If I can get like a small 4K monitor or TV or some setup like in my room, like where I can have the computer hooked up with a camera to do like. There's more I want to do with the channel, and I just need to get the setup to get there. Especially with it growing the way that it is, which I appreciate the support, guys. I want to be able to stream to Twitch and YouTube simultaneously. So I want to be able to use Restream and stream to both. So that's something that I'm looking forward to doing. Because, you know, for those that haven't really checked out the No Man's Sky community on Twitch, there's actually a really good No Man's Sky community, a good positive community over there. There's a group called The Convergence on Twitch, which is made up of like Dave Langer and Melamoni and K5 and Boondock and Corey Mack and a bunch of great guys over there that play a lot of games, including No Man's Sky. So Twitch is just a great community. Patrick Neal says in other places like Discord or Amino and PSN. TSS says I've never been there, just try to find the best system to live in. Yep. Don't forget to add Goalie XT, guys, to PS4 on PSN. I'm going to be adding him as soon as I'm done with the stream here. Dave Langer says, I don't think we will keep anything. I think everyone will start with nothing. The ARG keeps pointing at data loss. I don't think we will keep our ships or money. You shut your whore mouth, Dave Langer. you shut that whore mouth of yours. Don't say that. You're scaring the shit out of me right now. Oh my god. That is my biggest fear, that all of this is for nothing. At the very least, we should keep our money, for fuck's sake. You know, I could do with a reset. I mean, I wouldn't like it, obviously, because I've been working hard on this account for, like, since 2016. You know? But, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I love this game. I love the evolution that it's undertaking, and you know, I'll support it even if I got to start over. If I'm being honest with myself, it wouldn't make that much of an impact on me. So. Oh my god. Dave Langer says he's got 1,500 hours in No Man's Sky. Dude, I don't even have 500 hours, and I thought I played a lot. Boone. Yeah, dude. Boone is the shit. Cuz Walt is in the Convergence too. That he is. The Convergence is on Discord also, guys. So you can, you know, if you have a Twitch account, go look at the Convergence on the Discord app. And consider checking those guys out and watching their streams. And if you're thinking about starting a No Man's Sky Twitch channel, you know, or YouTube channel, doesn't matter, but Twitch, you know, that's predominantly where they're at, and you're going to be a newbie to streaming, that is a great welcoming group that'll take you in and sort of help you to build, you know, build your viewer base. And because with Twitch, you can raid other people's streams. You can host other people's streams. And so, you know, let's say that Boondock isn't streaming that day, but Melamoni is. Boondock can host Melamoni's stream, and what that means is that people that follow Melamoni will just end up at Boondock's channel when he goes live. So they're all about, the positivity and helping out the No Man's Sky community and all that kind of stuff over there. So, like I said, if you guys have a Twitch account, please check out the Convergence, sub to all of those guys on there, support them. Melamoni, Boondock, K5, Dave Langer, Cuzwalt, like everybody, literally. They're a great bunch of guys. I have not spent enough time on Twitch. I need to spend more time over there. It's just that I was spending more time on Twitch, but my channel has, and with your support, thanks again, my channel is growing, and so I've been putting a lot more focus back on the Hidden Panda show, obviously, and trying to get more content up. So that's sort of where I'm at with everything. But yeah, I mean, the last time I checked, we were at 628 subs. And I started this channel just before, like a day before Atlas Rises dropped or something like that. So, I appreciate it, guys, for real. The support that you guys have shown, the No Man's Sky community coming together and giving my little tiny ass channel some love. So, I really appreciate it. Literally from the bottom of my heart, not to sound corny, but just being real. So thank you. But yeah, Convergence is dope as fuck. Go check it out. Funny M says on MZK's channel he has a link to a starter kit he uses. He puts in every video. That's true. Like what kind of microphone to buy and stuff like that. So if you're thinking about streaming, go check it out. Seriously. Especially if you're thinking about like seriously doing it. Like if you've got the setup. And I think that was in reference to like what I might need. Which yeah, I've seen that video. I need to buy that stuff. I don't have a job right now, so, and I'm not too proud to admit that. I'm not working. My employer let our team go. We didn't close a very important sale, and so we got let go. Our team shut down because the client that we needed was not going to become our client. So the whole purpose behind our team being a thing in the first place disappeared, and so I'm out of a job. So I've been looking for work. So I have a lot more time on my hands right now, but as far as buying the stuff I need to set that up, I just got to be careful with how I spend my money because I'm still having to pay bills even though I don't have any income coming in, so I can't spend frivolously. But once I'm able to, I will absolutely invest in a microphone and a new setup to be able to take the streams to the next level. So, don't worry about that. Dave Langer says, "Oh, I scare everyone on my streams when I talk about us resetting. I like starting over." I'm scared to start over, but if I have to, it's not that big of a deal. What I love about the game is the atmosphere of it, the different planets, the exploration. It's not really the things you accumulate. The reason I accumulate things is because it just gives me something else to do. Because I've been playing for almost 2 years, and I've seen what a lot of the game has to offer. So now I'm focusing on acquisition, on getting ships, on getting freighters, on building up money, stuff like that. TSS says, well, I play a lot of other games too, so to have 600 is a lot for me. You do play a lot of other games, and you're just a good streamer. Like, I'm not even lying, guys. Go sub TSS Gaming. Like, trust me, it's dope. Starkwolf says, hey Panda, do you have your frame rate locked or not? I have it locked. I've tried a couple configurations on the PS4 Pro. What I've found is that the best way to do it is I like the 4K HDR aspect of it, but if you're talking about performance, is to, even if you're on a 4K TV, if it supports HDR, the HDR will still kick in. You can bring the game to 1080p instead of 4K. You'll still get HDR support if you have that display technology, but you can lock the frame rate at 60 instead of 30. So if you're doing 4K plus HDR, you're locked at 30. But if you're doing 1080p plus, uh, uh, if you're doing 1080p, you can lock at 60. Now, if you have a non 4K TV but you have a PS4 Pro, or you have a non 4K display, like for example, there's a lot of computer monitors they're not 4K but they have HDR support. That's probably the best situation that you can be in, because you get the HDR. You can be in 1080p, but PlayStation 4 Pro now has super sampling, so you're going to get a graphics bump anyway. Plus, you're locking the shit at 60. But 4K makes a pretty fucking big difference. So I play 4K at 30 locked. Cuz Walt says, "Stop it, Dave. Make my eye twitch every time you talk about it." Dave Langer says, "Genetic Code has 7,000 hours." That doesn't even compute. Like, I'm not even working right now, and I haven't hit 500 hours yet. And I play a lot. So, well, at least I feel like I play a lot. But Hidden Jew Agenda, he plays a shit ton. He's been playing since launch, just like me. And he has like 700 hours. So if you've got 1,000 hours or more in No Man's Sky, congratulations. I don't know how you pulled that off. But you deserve an award, because that is some dedication right there. I just don't know how to do that. Sword says, "Dude, bring that reset. I know what I'm doing now. I'll be at 1,080,000,000 hours." Because because of the damn gas harvesters, you rat bastard. Which, that reminds me, later tonight when I jump back on, I've got to go pick the ones I loaded. I've got to go grab that gas. Walt says, "I look at it like this. I love YouTube NMS streamers and Twitch NMS streamers. We all love No Man's Sky. We all support each other. No Man's Sky is strong." That's what I've been preaching, man. Sword's got Wi-Fi set up, so guys, watch Sword's stream tonight. Sword's got a channel. He's streaming. He's got a lot of great tips. You guys should check it out. He's got an open chat party you can join. So you can join his PS4 community. It's called Sword No Man's Sky Streams or something. Sword, go ahead and put the name of your PS4 community in the chat. But go ahead and join. He'll post his streams in there. He'll go live in a open party chat, and you guys can just join up and join in with Sword. Sword, feel free also, if you ever want to, you can post your streams in my community as well. But go support Sword's channel. Sword's done a lot for the Galactic Consortium and the Amino Hub. He's seeded a lot of farms. He's doing a lot of great work, and we should definitely support his channel. And he's just a really badass dude. J-Spot says procedural storytelling. I think they kind of they're sort of test driving that right now with the procedural mission system. So I think that we're going to see that expanded in the next update, and I'm really excited for that. Dave Langer says, "I feel your pain. I have been out of work for way too long. I blew through all my savings. I need a job in a few months or I'll be at zero." Funny Imp says, "Sorry to hear that, Panda. May I ask what field you're in?" Dave Langer, luckily for me, and I don't know your individual situation, but I still have a little bit of money left. Once I pay a few rounds of bills, I might as well kiss it goodbye. But my wife, she works. She makes a pretty good income. I have a strong family support network. My dad and my brother, are there for me if things get real rough. They're there to help me out. I do the same for them. We all hit these patches, and one should be so lucky to have a great family to help them get through it. You're a good guy, Dave. I don't think that it's going to be a permanent thing for you. I see you being right back on your feet and bouncing back harder than ever. So keep your chin up, and you'll be all right, dude. And hopefully you've got a good family support network that if things get real bad, that they can help you out. And don't be too proud to ask for help, man. You're not a bum as long as you're trying to keep things in order. Then you're good, and you've got nothing to worry about. So that's just my spiel. And funny Imps, to answer your question, I'm in sales and marketing. That's the field that I work in. So I've been in that field for a while. predominantly working on the broker side of the business with retailers. So I've managed retail stores. I've been a business manager. That was my last position, was a business manager for a company, managing Fortune 100 accounts, selling distribution, things like that. It's pretty good income. But that's what I do. I'm in sales and marketing. So. And retail is the industry. I don't do retail selling, so I don't work in a retail store, or I wasn't working in a retail store. Um, it was for the retail industry specifically. So I worked with clients like Horizon Organic Milk and Campbell's Soup with their Boathouse Farms division, Kellogg's, which owns Kashi and different stuff like that, Procter and Gamble, ConAgra Foods. So I was predominantly on the food side of the business, but I've worked in the technology side as well, selling technology, so telecom solutions and things like that. More business to business type stuff. Sark Wolf says, I was wondering because when you're at Swords Farms, I notice you never have any frame rate issues, and every time I go, uh, it crashes like a mother. Yeah. So here's something else I've noticed. Stark is if I fly to Swords Farm, which is normally how I do it, I never have any frame rate problems. It never fucks up. It never glitches. However, if I go through a portal and come, it gets laggy. I don't know why, and I don't know if they're connected, but I'm just spitting that out there. So every time that you've seen me recently come to Swords Farms, oh, that's cool. Every time that you've seen me recently come to Swords Farms, um, I've flown there. I've not gone through a portal. And I've noticed that whenever I go to bases through a portal, it tends to get glitchy. Then again, when I went to the TOG gas harvester base, it didn't get glitchy either. So I don't know. Maybe I'm having a lucky day with performance here. Funny M says, you streaming later, Panda, or Sword 2? I'm probably not going to stream later. Sword is definitely streaming later. HiddenJewAgenda, the other half of the Hidden Panda show, might stream later. I don't know. But if not, I would recommend all of you checking out and subbing to Sword's channel. So just don't forget to do that, guys. He's got good content. Sword, Funny Imps, TSS Gaming. Check out all those guys' subs. Seriously, it's worth your time. Cuz Walt says, hi, Funny Imp. Semtech says, I've got 1,000 plus. Only started playing again 2 weeks ago. LOL. I couldn't imagine 1,000 hours, but there are times where I'll play 3 or 4 hours in one go, and then there's times where I might play for 45 minutes just to go harvest a farm, and then I turn it off again. So the only time I play for like long periods at a time really is when I'm streaming, because I'm talking to you guys and I lose track of time, and then I'm streaming for a lot longer than I planned. TSS says, hey Panda, nice stream, gotta go. Take care, man. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you being here, dude. So take it easy. Sword says my PSN accounts are Sword. Yep, so check that out. Send him a friend request. Join his PS4 community. Sword, like I said, man, and this goes to anybody. If you're on PlayStation 4, join the Hidden Panda Show community. Share your pictures. If you guys are going to stream, you can share your live streams there, whatever communities you're a part of. I just want positive support for the No Man's Sky community, and if you've got to use whatever I have access to grow your influence within the No Man's Sky community, I don't mind, as long as you do it in a positive way. So join whatever communities I'm a part of, Amino, subreddit, No Man's Sky Consortium, whatever, and share your stuff, man. Share your streams. Join the NMS Cafe. There's a really great guy. His name's Marcus Wellen. He started streaming recently to Twitch. He put his stream in the NMS Cafe and got pretty good support. So I want to see more of you guys out there putting out. It keeps the game alive. It lets people see when you guys stream and make content. It lets people see that there are people playing the game, that there are people that are loving the game, and that there's a positive community out there to join. It really helps out. Funny Imp says, "Hey, cuz, I've been lurking, trying to break away in chat. LOL." Work and lurk, dude. Starkwolf says, "Yeah, I'm always going through the portals. Dang it." Whenever you're ready to move again, man, move to the Consortium Hub, dude. It, it was hard for me to leave the old Galactic Hub, but it's really nice to discover things for the first time again. To visit a star system that no one's ever visited, to scan an animal that no one's ever scanned, to know that you're in your own little corner of space, because the Consortium Hub isn't that populated yet. I mean, just look, we've got how many sectors? Like, we've got like 8 sectors in Euclid, and we've got Sword over here, who's got his little thing going on. You got me down here, okay, in the arm of Atemi. The HiddenJewAgenda right here in the arm of Atemi also, who's my next door neighbor. Got some of these, sort of things over here in these random places, like over here in Gedali. So we've got like 8 quadrants, man, that are, eight sectors that are open, that have hardly been discovered, that people can go start naming stuff in, and I don't know, it's like the Hub project all over again. I love exploring and naming stuff myself, and to have Sword a part of that and helping out with everything is really fucking awesome too. So yeah, it's just cool. Yeah. But yeah, whenever you're ready to move again, Starkwolf, come check out the Consortium Hub. Or just start a different save, start a new save and come to the Consortium Hub and leave your regular save where it's at. Whatever you want to do. That's what Sword did. So Sword has multiple saves. And I'm out of fuel. And I think I don't have any more iron. Sword says, "I spent almost a year out of work, guys, and came back. My salary has increased nearly $35,000 per year in 5 years. So keep your chins up, guys. I believe in fate will put you where you need to be." Sometimes bad things happen, but they open up new opportunities. That's one way to look at it as well. Sometimes some horrible shit will go down, and you think your world's over, but it opens up an opportunity for you to do something different. Yeah. So it's just one way to think about it. But like I said, if you have a solid family network of people that can help you when things get like that, it makes it a lot easier. Because if you're by yourself, things can get real dire real fast. But back in 2008 with the economic crisis, not to get too political, but the Bush administration had essentially deregulated the Wall Street banks. They made a bunch of crazy bets. Housing bubble bursted. The economy went sour, and a lot of people got laid off. And I was one of those people. And I worked in the aviation industry at that time for a company called General Dynamics, for their sister company called Gulfstream. And I got laid off, and I had a $5,000 credit limit, Visa Platinum card. I was 21 years old, making $18, $20 an hour. With no college, which is, pretty fucking good, I had a brand new car, everything, lost my job, and I was helping out my girlfriend, my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time. I was helping her family out. Her father had just recently passed away. Her mom doesn't work. She has a disability. She has epilepsy, a pretty bad form of it, where she's lost all of her teeth. Has seizures throughout the day, and I had no job, and I was trying to help her out financially, and I had a car I couldn't pay for it, and I thought things were getting bad. I thought my car was going to get repossessed, and one day I get in this accident, and I should not have been okay through that accident. I should have been severely injured. But I hydroplaned at 70 miles an hour on a slick road at night, and I hit a concrete barrier wall at like 70-something miles an hour with my sister-in-law in the car. And we were both fine. Car was completely totaled. And I had enough equity in the car that the insurance company paid the entire car off and wrote me a check, which I used to buy another car in cash. Okay? And the next job that I got was at a deli. But before the check came through and I could find a car, I was walking to work for a little while, but I ended up working at the same deli that I used to work in when I was in high school, at Tom Thumb grocery store. And when I left originally, I was at $11.45 an hour because I had put a few years in, and the economy was bad. And when I came back at $7.50 an hour. So I went from having a brand new car, making 20-something bucks an hour, to making $7.50 an hour, and walking to work. But that accident paid off my car, got me a car in cash, so I didn't have to make monthly payments. Put in my time, got back up on my feet, and whatever the case was. And then bad things happen from time to time, and that's just how shit is. Like recently, before I lost my job, my landlord, because I was renting a house. Well, it was my mother-in-law. She was renting the house me and my wife had moved into to help support her because she doesn't work, and she had two younger daughters that were still in high school, which I've known since they were 7 and 8 years old respectively, and I helped raise them. And I went through their first menstrual cycle, puberty, their first boyfriend when they lost their virginity, had the sex talk because their dad was dead. Their dad wasn't around to have that moment with them. Their mom's conservative and was kind of shy to have those sorts of conversations. I essentially was their father figure. And landlord decided that it was the last property he had. He wanted to retire, so he decided to sell it. And on April Fool's Day, on Easter Sunday, he sends us a text message and says, "Hate to do this to you guys, it's not a joke. I've decided to sell the property. You have 30 days to move out." And we weren't expecting to move out, so we didn't have anything set aside to put deposits down on a new place. They have to run credit checks. You've got to put a deposit down for pets and things like that, pay first and last month's rent, and we just didn't have it. So my wife's family, her mother and 2 younger sisters, ended up moving in with the eldest daughter, who already has a family and a fiance and 2 kids of her own, and she's pregnant with her third. They had to move in there temporarily. Me and my wife temporarily moved into my dad's house with the intention of within a month, because that's all we would have needed, a month or 2, that's all we would have needed with our income to have all the money necessary to go put down on another place and all that kind of stuff. So we get to my dad's place. We're just staying in a room for a little while. Then one day at work, I get invited to a conference call that said that the sale didn't go through, that the client's dropping us, and that I'm out of a job, and that my whole team has been let go. And so now, at my dad's house, I'm 30 years old, I'm married, and I'm staying in a room in the hall. And shit happens. And you can't let it get you down. And, it's not that that you deserve it. You probably don't. But an opportunity may come from it. The situation that you're in might lead to an idea. It might give you the time to do something else, to think about something else that you haven't thought about. If you've been busy working and with your life and haven't really considered other options, maybe, just maybe, being out of a job gives you time to think about what your options might be. Maybe start a new career, start a business. Maybe you want to be a Twitch streamer full time. Now you have the time to do that and make it work. So if you talk to any major, any really successful people, Will Smith has a great quote, but basically he talks about you fail your way to success. They're just bumps in the road that we all got to go through. This bus is my mic broke. I've been using communication terminals to communicate. That's getting creative. Dave Langer says the new update has to add more stuff to do with planets, not just co-op. I agree. Sword says, which do you play most account-wise? Oh, we got Ryder, and what's going on, Ryder? Funny Imps and Marcus is streaming. That's really cool. All this love. I really got to push the game. HG, thank you for... Yes. Patrick O'Neill says, I know I will make it there after the reset. Joshua McClellan, what's going on, dude? Says, hey, y'all. So I wanted to talk about the Xbox release. It will no doubt be a whole new universe. Just as Steam and PS4 are separate, so too shall be Xbox. This means new hubs, etc. We will need help starting anew. Yeah, absolutely. I have an Xbox, and I will be getting No Man's Sky for the Xbox. And if you're not a part of the Galactic Consortium, Joshua, I would recommend downloading the Amino app, joining the Galactic Consortium, because when it launches on Xbox, we will be starting an Xbox databank and hubs and everything else, and we're going to have a lot of things going on there in the near future. So check it out. Are you an Xbox user? Have you never played No Man's Sky before and you're waiting for it to release on Xbox? Or what's your story? Semtech says, as one door closes, another one opens. Exactly. 100%. J-Spot says, I wonder what the stars that you can't reach outside of the galactic map. It'd be cool. It'd be cool to be able to get to those. I think it's just scenery, though. Sword says, I see bases with 2 of the third in the new account stream. Yep, Funny Imps, regardless, I'm playing it on Xbox as well as PS4. Same. Just more people to play with. And I have friends that play Xbox that almost consider buying PlayStation 4s just to get this game. So they're really excited about the release on Xbox, and I'll have even more people to play with than just my PlayStation 4 friends. So that's really exciting. Joshua McClellan says, I've been PC, but I'm willing to bet my Xbox can run it better, plus the sound of a fresh universe at the drop of an update, since it's basically a relaunch, sounds appealing. Yeah, the game does seem to, it seems like it's optimized better for console. Unless you have a really gangster PC. Like if you've got like the shit PC, you know, probably runs pretty goddamn good. There's a streamer, I can't remember his name now, but he's a guy from Tasmania, and I watch him late at night sometimes when I'm still up, and hopefully I'll remember his name soon. He's a really good streamer, but he plays on PC, and his frame rate is nasty, bro. He's running it at like 120 or something like that. It just looks good, or maybe it just seems like 120. I don't know. Funny Imp says, what you went through then has prepared you for this trying time. I have no doubt you'll pull through. Me either. It's going to be fine, and I know it. You know, that's why it hasn't got me as down as it might get other people. And I'm in a safe place. I've got the support of my dad's here if I need him. You know, my brother's here if I need him. So, it's I don't ask for anything, but I know they'll help me if I need it. But at least my wife right now is working, and she makes enough money, just on her own. So, especially with with her older sister picking up the tab on the other side of the family, there, we're not having to really pay that side of it, and we're not renting a house anymore. So we're not paying that either. So whatever money would have been going to that is also going to the both of us while we're here. So it could be worse. And so I'm definitely not pretending like it's the end of the world. Joshua McClellan says, it's a race to the capital of the Galactic Hub. I dub thee birth. Or I get there and it's already named Chicken Butt. You should name it Chicken Butt. Patrick O'Neill says, you dare set another trap for me, Sword. You know what's really weird is that sometimes I like to name things like sci-fi names, but then every now and again I get really weird and I just want to name something weird. And there's a system not far from here that I named Nancy. I don't know why I named it Nancy, but that's just what I called it. So Chicken Butt is good too. I also named a star system Funny Imps. And it's in the Consortium Hub, I believe. So you guys might be exploring the Consortium Hub one day, and you might come across a star system called Funny Imps. I trust you don't move there, um, as the name implies. It is for funny imps to go live if he so desires. But once I land back at my base right here, guys, I'll be ending the stream. So it's been too long of a stream. I appreciate you guys holding down the chat. Sorry the chat was kind of delayed. I don't like it coming up on the screen the way the PlayStation has it set up, where it black bars the whole right-hand side of the screen. It just, I don't like the look of it. And some of the comments are too long that you can't see them all. So I try to view it on my phone, and that means I've got to look away from the screen to do that. Yep, this is my radioactive home planet, guys. But it means I've got to look away from the screen to do that, and so it sets me back on the chat. Right quick, I'm going to show you guys something that I think is really strange and why I picked this spot. So, what does that look like to you guys? Does that not look like the CSD Atlas logo? Like if you pull up a picture of it, like that's basically what it looks like. I feel that like that is so weird to just like randomly have right there. Isn't that crazy? Funny Him says, yes, you did. I saw one named Anal Leakage. That is awesome. That is awesome. I'm surprised that one, it let them name it that. That's hilarious. Sword says, life's a garden. Dig it. A Joe Dirt quote. Hell yeah. Dave Langer says, yes, it does. So everybody's in agreement that looks like the Atlas logo, right? I mean, holy shit. You know what? That's a good idea. I will tweet that to Sean. Great idea. Let me get my ship in there. Gotta have my ship. Badass fucking ship. There, got it. And then I'll take a close-up one. But that's totally the CSD logo, dude, I'm telling you. We got M Kirby 101 in the chat. What's going on, Mr. Kirby? Sorry that you joined right at the end. But hopefully you'll catch the stream next time, dude. But guys, it's been real. Thank you guys for the chat. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. If you're new to the Hidden Panda Show, don't forget to like and subscribe. Smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. Definitely helps me out. My next subscriber goal is 1,000. If I can get to 1,000, it'll blow the zipper off my pants, and then I might have, as Funny Imp stated earlier, some anal leakage. So, I appreciate you guys stopping by. It's been real. I'll catch you guys later on in the No Man's Sky universe. As always, Panda out.